Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. We are live on this very last weekend of the summer here in the brand newish and Jewish, Daverhood. I'm Dave Lefkowitz, that's my darling and adorable wife, Joyce, and we are in Maryland doing the latest edition of Dave's Gone By. Well, this has to do with what happened just yesterday. So it's our 864th edition of the program. We're going to be calling it the Barn Boat. Oh, yeah. Because, well, I'll tell you why. Because this is a big day to be here. Thank you very much. So here's the deal. I think the most important thing is for people who are just tuning in, have no idea what the hell this is, to tell them why they should stay tuned, particularly on this episode of Dave's Gone By, which mixes humor and comedy and talk and goofiness and zinginess and potato. Well, he's not showing up on camera. This is interesting. Here he goes. Hello, and
he's
potato.
He's curious. He wants to know what's going on.
I am Curious Tato. Ooh, show me off. Yeah. Look at my backside. Woo! Yeah.
David.
He's. I don't know. He wants to be on TV. Okay.
This is not Potatoes Gone Wild. We're not
no. Oh, that was a good video. Mm-hmm. Oh, all that peeling. Oh God. Yeah, that was hot. That was something. Made my tuber grow. But that's my wife Joyce over there. And we do this and have been doing this amazingly enough. We are only 1 month away, less than a month away, from. Not the 20th anniversary, because that kind of happened, I think, last time. But starting the 21st year. What?
What number episode?
This is the 864th episode of Dave's Gone By. We started in October of 2002, and here we are in September 17th, 2022.
Can you believe it's September 17th?
19 years and 11 months after we began the show. So as I said, the show is a whole catch-all of stuff. We have trivia. We have comedy, we have poetry of a sort.
Did you show them potato?
We have potato. This is most important.
And you have a tambourine.
We have a tambourine with a beautiful little snail on it.
I know we packed
I wouldn't have bought it. It was usually pretty expensive, but we got it on snail. So, yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. So. Our guests today were not on F Troop. That would be great for F Troop. No.
Yeah. No. How do you know they didn't make a guest appearance?
And we just lost Larry Storch a few weeks ago.
All of
That's
these
so
actors
sad.
make guest appearances.
But here's Larry Storch made a very memorable guest appearance on a show called Get Smart. Wait a minute, he played like the groovy, hypnotizing all these hippie people.
No, I'll stay in the beginning now.
Yeah. So Larry, but we don't have Larry Storch. Larry Storch is dead. No, he's not on the program today. Yeah. But. Speaking of Get Smart, when you think of Get Smart, you think of course, Don Adams as Agent 86, Barbara Feldon as 99, and maybe you think of the Chief. But even before you think of the Chief, right, you might just think of their most evilest, worstest villain, the guy who controlled chaos. And that's what this show is. It's controlled chaos.
Get Smart?
Yes.
What are you talking about? What
am I talking about? I'm talking about the TV show.
Yeah, but
Mel Brooks created, Buck Henry wrote it.
The actors aren't from there.
Oh, really? One of the actors who's going to be on this program
Who was the chaos guy? One of those actors?
Oh my God! Who played?
I remember Maxwell Smart in Agent 99 because she was a very smart woman. I was like, thank God, finally a woman with brains on TV.
Yeah, it wasn't bad to look at either, but yes.
Who was the...
Siegfried.
I can't see it.
You can't see Siegfried? Was
it Barney Miller?
No, the other guy.
Really?
Bernie Kopell.
Really?
Siegfried. Yeah, Siegfried. He was the evil, the guy.
I don't remember him.
Yeah, I know it's hilarious things like it was, chief administrator in charge of paperwork or things like that. But yes.
I'm not feeling it.
That was long before the other show that made Bernie Kopell actually a household name.
I don't remember.
And a sex symbol of sorts, yeah. Bernie Kopell was Siegfried on Get Smart, and he was only on a couple of episodes. That's the thing. He's so iconic and memorable in that particular role. And yet, if you go back to all the seasons of Get Smart, they had tons of villains, just sort of like Batman did. And he was kind of,
Do you want this for your back?
Yeah, that'd be lovely. Thank you. And so, but then about 10 years.
Which came first, the Dr. Evil, Mr. Evil?
Well, Dr. Evil from.
No, I mean, which came first? That was his first role.
Yeah, well, it was his first known
Recurring,
big TV role. Yeah, in the 1960s. And then about 10 years or so later, Fred Silverman said, hey, we have a show where we're going to put a bunch of people on a boat. And it's a boat full of love.
It's Titanic, baby.
Yeah, so, of course, we all know Bernie Kopell as Doc on The Love Boat. Yes, swing along, Jack Jones. Right, yes. Anyway, part one, Bernie Kopell. Right? Get Smart, Love Boat, done a bunch of other things in theater across the country, stuff like that. Part two, a man who has already been on this program a few years back.
Amazing, yes.
And we were very, very honored and thrilled because he was already in his early 80s, actually, to mid 80s, when Hal Linden appeared as a guest on this show. Audio only, because we're radio or college radio back then. But Hal Linden. Now, if you're a TV person, you know Hal Linden, of course, as the titular star, and pardon my French, of Barney Miller. That's the show still plays. All these shows still play.
I think there's like a lot of like not Nickelodeon. I forget the networks, but they bring back the series. You told me because they don't have to pay for right. They
have to pay for syndication, but it's cheaper than making a new show.
Yeah.
So and I think Get Smart is actually now in I think it's public domain because it's pre-1977. But Barney Miller, you remember the cop show with the handsome mustachioed.
It had Wojciechowicz and
right.
The weird
Max Gale.
Yeah, the tiny detective who was like
Levitt.
Always like trying to become a policeman. Always thought he was a detective.
I hated that. I found that character so annoying.
I did too.
I felt bad for the actor because I felt good for the actor, but I just never wanted to see him.
But I think that was his role. He was supposed to be very annoying, right?
But I wanted more Wojciechowicz. I wanted more of Steve Landesberg, who came after Fish died.
Oh,
after Abe Vigoda.
Well, didn't Abe Vigoda had a spin-off where he and his wife had a show where they had orphans?
It was called Fish.
Yeah, I enjoyed that, yeah.
But that didn't really, he should have stayed on Barney Miller. And then he lived like 25 years after Barney Miller. Who knew?
Maybe he just was tired of doing it.
But after they got rid of, or after Fish, Vigoda left, they brought in Steve Landesberg.
Yeah.
And he just had this deadpan, great comedy. He was wonderful. Loved him. And so they kept Barney Miller going.
Great show, yeah.
And it was all, again, the tie that binds, the thing that holds everything together, is Barney, even though Barney doesn't get the laughs, per se.
He was always in his office and always trying to put out fires. That was what he did.
That was the thing. But he had these comical characters and personalities around him. So he could almost be the straight man, even though it was his show.
The detainees or prisoners were funny. They always had some story or.
Well, it's almost like a Seinfeld thing where Jerry wasn't really the funny character.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
He was there. He was kind of wasn't even the protagonist half the time necessarily. But you went to Kramer or Elaine or oh God, what's his name?
Michael.
Jason Alexander as you know who I'm talking about.
Jason, what's his name?
George Costanza. Right, so you go to them, but the glue that held everything together was Jerry. The glue that held Barney Miller together was Barney, a.k.a. Hal Linden.
It was the name of his show.
Yeah. Now, he also, if you're a theater person, you might have seen him in like almost a dozen Broadway shows. Most famously, he played Meyer Rothschild, the scion, I guess that's the word, of the Rothschild clan in the Broadway musical The Rothschilds. And you can still hear him on the cast album. Was
he Broadway first or TV first?
Oh, I think he was both-ish, but trying to do theater first and then got into TV and Broadway stuff. And he did a lot of pilots after that. After Barney Miller went, he tried staying in TV. But, he was fine. He also did a ton of cabaret. He's really a class clarinet player.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't think he was a singer, no?
Okay, well, of course he could sing.
He
sang very, very well on the Rothschilds.
Oh,
He's a really good singer. Yeah.
Interesting.
Barney Miller. As a matter of fact, he just may, tell a story on the show of how he started as a singer or something, or he was a musician and asked him to sing, and then he realized he could sing, and I think there's more to the story.
I think it's wonderful that they were interviewed. What a great couple.
Yeah. So that's the deal.
But why are they being interviewed?
Thank you for bringing that up. This is wonderful.
What connects them? What's the 6 degrees?
If you're in New York, okay, and you're there from now until the middle of October, you can go off Broadway, right to West 46th Street, Midtown Manhattan, 8th and 9th Avenue, to the theater at St. Clement's, and go see both 89-year-old Bernie Kopell, 91-year-old Hal Linden, together on stage in a comedy called Two Jews Talking. It's by Ed Weinberger, who's done a ton of TV sitcoms over the years. So he put these two one-act plays together.
Okay, who wrote them?
Ed Weinberger, the guy who did the TV series. And they both feature just two actors, two people on stage, Hal Linden, Bernie Kopell. In one, they play biblical characters, and another, they come back sort of many years later as we go grown up, as modern characters. But it's two Jews talking, literally, and it's the title of the show.
How long is it?
I'll show you later, man. Thank you for that. It's 90 minutes. Wow. No intermission. I mean, there may be a little break in between them because they got to change, I'm sure.
Yeah, they have to change clothes.
You know, that, or they just have robes on in the first, and they just and there they are.
Maybe they come out nude.
No. You know, Hal Linden, 91 years old, and Bernie Kopell, good-looking guys.
You said the combined age was what when you calculated?
It's 100. They're 180 years in the room together.
And if you calculate the age of the interviewer, what was the age in that room?
Well, Rabbi Saul, mental age 3.
No, but chronologically.
How old is Rabbi Saul? I never asked him recently.
I don't think he was allowed to have a birth certificate.
That's right. The Nazis confiscated it.
No, I think the hospital was like, no.
So anyway, that's why one of the main reasons you're tuned in this Saturday, September 17th, to the Dave's Gone By Facebookio Podcastio Programmio of the Stream to watch the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Saul Solomon talk to two Jews talking, Hal Linden and Bernie Kopell. Yeah, I mean,
it's amazing. Think about the technology, right? Like the fact that you could virtually interview, or you know, they could be virtually interviewed. It's amazing, and they did it together or separate.
We did pre-record it, so we did it earlier in.
They might be doing their show. It's Saturday, right?
They'll be preparing, and they have. That's the thing. I mean, this is. Not amazing. I mean, you're a gerontologist. It's not amazing. It's great that they do 4 shows a week. They do Friday night, 2 on Saturday, and a matinee on Sunday. That is taxing for any actor. Yeah. They get the whole rest of the week to go off to California or whatever. But
it makes sense to me because that's also the days when you get probably the biggest audience.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why would you do it on weeknights if it's going to be half full?
If they were smart, they should do like a Friday matinee. They would get so many Jews in the audience at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday.
Maybe they thought of it.
Well, maybe. And they seem to be doing well. It's going now through October 23rd.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it's been played a few weeks.
Is it nominated for any, like...
Too early.
Okay, not like an Emmy, not an Emmy, a Tony or...
So it's off-Broadway. And it just opened like a month ago. It's not
where
like...
Where is it? You said the theater, but where?
St. Clement's Theater.
Is it downtown or midtown?
300 and something West 46th Street. So it's like a block from Restaurant Row. Yeah. It's near the theater at St. Luke's, I think.
Most people, David, most theater goers would not even know that's off Broadway. I would think that's Broadway. It's so close.
Right. It's a block from Roadblock that is Broadway. So yeah.
Excellent.
So, yes. Yeah. I would love to. I'm not going to get to see it, unfortunately, because I'm out here 200 miles away. But you can go see Hal Linden and Bernie Kopell off Broadway, Two Jews Talking, and you can stay right here because they'll be with us in like 15 minutes talking to the great Rabbi Saul Solomon. So we're very excited about it.
I can't believe that. That's like, I mean, when you had on, oh my God, I'm losing names. Who's the guy who wrote All in the Family?
Wrote? I never had Norman Lear. No.
You had,
I wish Norman Lear's still alive, God bless him. Well, who else?
No, I'm losing the guy. Oh my goodness. He was a theater on TV and theater producing. He talked about losing his wife.
Oh, you're talking about Carl Reiner.
Oh my God! Like
Rob Reiner, his son was on all of
that.
it.
Yeah, that's what I'm making the connection.
Yeah.
What I mean, you got some really great
Oh,
icons.
Yeah. No, I'm a little angry now at
Why?
Carl Reiner because
Why?
I've invited him back.
Oh.
And, the voicemails go to nothing, the calls go to nothing.
Is he gone?
Oh, I mean, yes, he's dead. But still, he's been dead a while now. He could pick up a phone.
What I find the creepiest thing is there are people who are your friends on Facebook who are deceased.
Oh, I know, yeah.
That's creepster. It's like they still have a Facebook page and they're gone, like 2 critics.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
Oh, yeah, they still... Well, you know what? Sometimes, I mean, I get it. Sometimes I do get it.
Okay.
Like when there's someone on Facebook and they drop dead, but their friends still post on their and remember them, and it's kind of nice that they still have a page because maybe they're not administering it.
Yeah, no,
Facebook
they can't unless they're doing it from AI or something.
But someone will share a photo or a great memory.
David, their Alexa, their technology. It's like I will maintain. I watched this TED talk about living forever, but also like AI, like uploading your brain. So maybe they've uploaded their brain to like Meta.
Wow.
Like now I am part of the connected series of smart devices, but yeah, I hope not.
Yeah, I think a lot of dead retarded people uploaded their brains to the Walgreens interface.
Oh, David. First of all, that word is naughty.
Yeah. Okay.
I think sometimes your understanding of language and terminology is like 1902.
Oh, absolutely. That's called comedy. It's called not politically correct because it's comedy.
I think it's called stupidity or tragedy.
This is the show that you're watching. When we get into that, when we get into Walgreens, I'm going to... Well, it has to do with yesterday. So before we say that, also... we do have other segments on the program. We'll go to Greeley, Colorado for Greeley Crimes and Old Times, as we always do. We will have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we go to a place in Colorado. A lot of places in Colorado have like Spanish or Mexican names. Not this one. There's a place called El Jebel. Jebel. El Jebel, Colorado. It's a place. Who knew? And I've written a horrible poem about it, which you could have kind of guessed. So our Colorado Limerick of the Damned will be El Jebel, Colorado. Check it out. Plus, we will have our weekly Today, Yesterday quiz. And this is going to be an interesting one because we heard earlier in the week that our beloved Leslie Hoban Blake is not going to be on the show this week. She just... like Joyce was talking about, she lost a long time friend of hers, and someone we actually met many years ago when we all went to Paris.
Yay, wow. Mary
Yay, wow. I know, it is a yay, wow. Yeah. I used to look like yay, wow, but then I had my boobs down there.
That's Jay Wow.
Oh, okay.
Jay Wow doesn't look like Jay Wow.
I know.
Plastic surgery makes people look very different.
Oh, tell me that.
Sometimes you don't even recognize who they are. But again, Leslie won't be able to make it, and we just found out today, David, our beloved David Sheward, won't be able to make the show because he's got a work thing to do. So we do have 3 guests. This is going to be maybe the very first time we've ever done Today, Yesterday without either David or Leslie. Oh, the OGs.
So
the OGs are gone.
My wonderful wife, Joyce.
Who knows nothing about anything he's written.
Yeah, she's not a trivia person. But she's going to step in very last minute.
Yes.
And if you're talking about this show, you're basically stepping in it. She will be stepping in last minute to take one of their places so we can do the game. We will also have one of our favorite guests, Moshe Denberg, popping in. Well, not more than popping in. He's going to play the game with us this morning, as he has a couple of times. And how could we do this game without Vicki Quade out in Chicago, the co-creator of Late Night Catechism, which she's still doing out there with Bible Bingo, and I'm sure she's probably getting the Halloween show ready, but it'll be another month before she starts doing that.
She always says the best thing is Nuns for Fun. That's her main website, and she updates it. She's very active on social media, so that thing is like the best way to.
Nunsforfun.com.
Anything you need for her, I always do. That's the best go to.
Nuns for So it's gonna be great. We're going to have a whole ton of, interestingly enough, so we've got Linden and Bernie Kopell in this show off Broadway where they're playing, at least for part of it, characters out of the Bible. We have a Wretched pun of destiny. Haven't done those in a few weeks. I can hear the crickets in the background. We should have a cricket noise. That's good enough. A Wretched pun of destiny, where we're going to be talking about a biblical character, and it's a short, very short story with a pun ending. If you know these, you're turning off your computers right now. But if you've never heard them, you'll stick with us for the Wretched pun of destiny, biblical style, right here on Dave's Gone By. So, the shirt. Let's do this. This is my adulting t-shirt. I was a big boy yesterday. I was a big, good boy yesterday. So my wife, Joyce, is, for various reasons, more worried about COVID than a lot of other people, myself included. COVID is scary to her, reasonably so. So, she had her booster shot last week. Go to Walgreens. We're literally in and out. Makes the appointment, zip, they do it. She walks around the store for 15 minutes to make sure that there's no app reaction. She doesn't collapse, but really we went shopping and, boom, boom, done. She's teaching, she's wearing a mask, all this stuff. So she asked me, well, how's it going in my school? And I'm like, well, I'm not wearing a mask. I had COVID. A few months ago. I've gotten both shots and I've gotten boosted. Is that enough? It's enough. And she's like, no, it's not enough. Omicron's going around. The kids are starting to get it, right? Yeah. And I don't want you getting it and giving it to me. And so I'm like, so what do you want? So she's like, wear a mask. Make sure you wear a mask. And I swear to you, that first class in the morning, because I have an 8 a.m. class, and about 10 minutes into the class, I'm like having trouble breathing behind the mask.
You're an actor, control it.
I'm trying. Well, I am.
Yeah,
I don't take the mask off.
Actors control it. You control the breath. That's where yoga comes in. Control your breath.
But I realize what's happening also is that by the end of my first class, I go to reach for my mask and it's soaking wet.
Ew, you're spitting.
My saliva.
You're probably saving the lives of hundreds of students by not spitting on them.
Probably. I probably formed like a salivary bubble along the whole front of the mask, and it's blocking my airways because I'm like, just a minute. I'm literally like who's that guy in the David Lynch film?
Monk, the Monk.
The big enormous guy, or what was it? Dennis Hopper in Blue Velvet, where it's like
you need the O2.
And I literally have to take like 5 seconds to just go. I pull the mask down, I get some air, and I put it back on my face, just to fill my lungs up because I don't have the lung capacity I was talking. I never smoked. I never did anything.
Yeah, but maybe when you had COVID the first time, it damaged your lung capacity.
No, I remember when our friends were testing us on the treadmill.
Oh yeah, the stress.
And I was like, okay, fine, no problem. I used to jog back in my 20s. I used to do this, and you get on there like, stop this fucking thing, stop it.
No, it was a test where they give you different protocols that are pre-programmed on the treadmill. You're hooked up to something that measures your metabolic rate and your heart rate and everything. Yeah. And so we did it, and you actually do it until exhaustion. So there's somebody behind you who can catch you if the protocol is too much.
But I shouldn't have been so exhausted so quickly, and that was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think I have diminished lung capacity.
They told me that you were that way before they even turned on the machine.
I'm ready for the test. I don't know why. I do everything. I eat crap. There's no question. I eat what I want, when I want, where I want.
All my friends refer to you as a carnivore or omnivore, which I say omnivore. Yeah.
But when it comes to other stuff, I've never taken one puff of marijuana. I have never had a cigarette or a cigar. My lungs, except for the fact that I was born in Brooklyn and raised in New York, which will kill everything. So I was like, and I lived in Colorado. Where the air is so much higher, and we thought, you'll be trouble breathing. No problem. Walking around, I was sleepy for a month. I have a nap in the middle of the day.
You still do.
I still do. Now I'm in my late 50s. What can I tell you?
You still do.
So I'm there, and the front of my mask is soaked with my goo.
Oh God!
I can barely breathe out of it. But anything for you, dear. So I'm wearing the mask, right? And I was like, but she's like, oh, you're also getting another booster. I'm like, I had COVID. I had the disease, and it was a head cold.
It mutates, and you don't know how it would be in me. Do you want to kill me?
That was her line.
Do you
want to kill me?
Yes.
And generally the answer is no. Not always, but generally the answer is no. Here it comes.
I can't find it.
So, me being the good boy that I am, we make another appointment a week later.
What did you get beforehand? You got yourself okay.
All right. So we make this appointment at Walgreens, and we make it so that on a Friday, so in case I have a reaction, I've got the whole weekend to go get over it before I have to start teaching on Monday. Because you had the shot last week, and you get a reaction. You were tired, you had headache, your stomach was messed up before you had it.
My stomach's better now, but I always get migraines, so it's like I'm blessed in this way that whatever I get, you can put and migraine. It's like the migraine is the end result of any body stress that I have.
I know.
Yeah.
And me, I'm waiting. My arm hurts today. I've been moving it around. Joyce has made me do a flappy chicken thing.
What did you get beforehand?
Okay. All right. Well, yes. Because I was a big boy and doing this thing that I really did not want to do. And Joyce is like, okay, you can have any meal you want. So we picked up sushi.
Yeah.
And
we
had bagel. Okay, go ahead. You tell.
You had an Old Bay seasoning bagel,
which was good.
A
little spicy, but really
very
good.
Spicy. You ate that before. You had a nice root beer.
Yeah, and Joyce made me even a milkshake last night with a blender. I had to clean that shit. So thank you, dear.
And with cookie, I made almost like a Starbucks Frappuccino. I put cookies in it. I did the whole 9 yards.
So Joyce realized I was being a good boy that day, right? So she was going to really, mother me and do nice things for me. But the whole thing of I'm not quite needle phobic, but I really hate needles. Phobia is this level. I'm probably this level.
No, you are. Everybody said, they were like, oh, he's off the charts. Everybody commented, they're like, they should take him first. He's got problems. There was a consensus among the one woman who didn't know her name. She would even say, let him go.
Well, also because we made our appointment for 2:15. Yeah. We could have gone earlier, except, of course, Walgreens shuts its pharmacy down until 2 o'clock. So nobody can even get any pills or anything.
That's when they do dance.
So we go there and it's already a line of people for various things. Mm-hmm. So we go, 2:15. Make the appointment. We get there 15 minutes early, 2 o'clock. Great. Start filling out paperwork, answering the questions, doing this, showing my card and things. And then wait. And wait. Now, here's the deal. This happened to me when I had my hernia 24 years ago. Me, needles, operations, my God, just knock me on the head with a mallet and wake me up 3 days after it's over. I'll be fine. But, it's the waiting and the worrying and the expectation. So we leave the house at 6 in the morning. My cousins drive us to the hospital.
Oh, this is back then, yeah.
Yeah, and they prepped me early in the day.
But you refused pre-testing, so they had no pre-testing.
Yeah, they had no because I didn't want a blood test because I knew I would fucking faint in the ER, wherever they do. If they tried before they even did all the other stuff to give me blood. So I'm like, Jesus Christ. But fine. I'm like, here we go. I'm in. I'm checked in. I'm prepped. It's 8:15, 8:30 in the morning. I'm ready. Do what you got to do. Put me under, and when I wake up, the surgery will be done, and da-da-da. Fine. And as nervous and as phobic as I am, would have gone in, woken up, boom. But what happens is, because of American healthcare, is I'm waiting, and then the doctor's not even in the hospital yet. And then there's somebody before me that has made an emergency.
Doctor was there.
So where the fuck was he?
No, what happened was that you didn't know, but your blood pressure was too high because you were nervous and they didn't want to take you in.
No, but that was because my pressure went through the roof because I was told we were expecting that my surgery would be done about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Well, somebody also fainted. One of the medical team fainted in the pre-op.
So if they'd gotten to me at 9 a.m. or 9:10 a.m., I would have been like, okay, let's do it, fine, okay. When they get to you at 11:45, and all you're doing between 8:30 and 11:45 is this. And all you can do is dwell. It's not like you can go up and go shopping at Kohl's. You're prepped. You're wearing a gown. You're in a hospital, and minute by minute, and you can't run away. You have to have this procedure. So everything is just fucking weighing on your mind. I've got to have this done, and then you're like, you get worse and worse. You get into your own head, as opposed to, hey, look over there. Zip, you're done, right? So yesterday, assuming that I had the shot scheduled for 2:15, figure by 2:20 to get me in the room, bop, wait 5-10 minutes to make sure I don't have a reaction, buy a couple of things at Walgreens and go home, go do what I gotta do, right? Yeah. Instead, sitting, talking to a nice fellow who took my mind off things, telling me all these stories about how he wrote things about Hillary Clinton.
That was scary. I was like, yikes.
And he posted one, and he said, I'll be on Hillary's website. Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, I'm keeping an eye on you. And suddenly the FBI's knocking on his door.
That was scary.
But it was an interesting story to tell.
It entertained you.
And we're having a great chat, but then, he had to go get his meds and do what he had to do. And then you're like, if you want to walk around, just walk around. And so I start walking, just pacing the aisle back.
And also you had your sleeve rolled up, too.
Because I'm like, let's get it done. I even changed my shirt. Because I left the house, the shirt I wore while I was teaching, I realized was very hard to kind of pull up and keep up. And the last thing I wanted to do...
But you did get compliments on your shirt.
It was a nice shirt, yeah. But the thing is, last thing I wanted to happen is my shirt to be sort of rolled up. The guy's trying to give me a shot, and while he's putting the needle in there, the shirt, he's like, uh-oh, and I was supposed to angle the needle in my arm.
That's your worst.
And I start to bleed, and there's like, lymph fluid flying everywhere. But what happens, this is what happens. Had they gotten to me in a reasonable amount of time, I would have been nervous as hell, but okay.
Did you not want to end up like the animal in the parking lot?
Go ahead, tell.
You say.
Well, no, and also, one of the things about this parking lot, it has been here for more than a week. If you dragged to one of the parking spots that nobody parks near now, was a fox, a dead fox, that has been picked clean. All you have is fur and bones. All the gut, everything has been eviscerated. There's just this dead fox lying there that nobody, again, they don't pay Walgreens employees enough. It's not in their union contract. They don't make $13.70 an hour to get the fox spatula and lift it into the dumpster. So it's just a dead fox with bones.
You don't want to end up like Fox.
Yeah, I didn't want to end up like Fox. And now I'm pacing back and forth. And I'm getting worse and worse. Yeah. And it's getting close to like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. Right? And I know healthcare's like this. And I know, and was hearing different things like, oh, the pharmacist isn't here yet, or the dose isn't ready yet, or the dose hasn't come yet. And I'm just walking back and forth. And I was going to tell you, 3 o'clock, that's my limit.
So what did I do?
I'm fucking out of here.
Online. Yeah.
And so I'm pacing, and you're like, don't pace too far because I need to reach you when they call your name. So now I really am a caged animal because I'm like, I guess I'll turn back instead of wandering around the store. It's like back and forth and back and forth and back half an aisle this way, half a aisle. Finally, the guy comes out, a little South Asian man, no bedside manner whatsoever. But I finally go into the room. My sleeve is still rolled up. The sleeve on the shirt is going to be crunched like this forever because it was up over my arm for 50 minutes. And I sit down, and then Joyce was kind enough to come into the room with me. I didn't know they'd allow that. So she's sitting over there.
They wanted you out. So.
And I'm over here, and I'm again. Okay, look, just do it. Just do it. Just do it.
That
and I warned him.
The door was wide open.
Door was wide open. I warned the man. She warned him. She warned everybody in Walgreens that he was legal phobic, right? They didn't. Once they saw me pacing, I think they realized. But she warned everybody, including him, that I told him I hated needles. I'm like, so one of the things that gets me through a shot these days, I've had more shots over the past literally 2 years than I've had in the past 25 years, not counting like dental stuff. So I warned him. I get through it by singing
loudly.
Well,
loudly.
I didn't know it was going to be that loud.
Yes, you were belted.
Yeah. So when I started singing, getting the stuff ready, I start singing. I had two options. When I did my very first shot for the COVID at Aqueduct Racetrack, I think I did Bob Dylan's.
You did a Dylan song, yeah.
Positively 4th Street.
Yeah.
And people looking. And then, everybody's around. And, now I'm in this open door room in Walgreens. And I'm like, I picked one that I've done before. Monty Python's Lumberjack song.
Loudly.
And so I can't control that.
I know.
And so he's getting it ready, and I feel the alcohol, the cold alcohol swab goes on. I'm like, I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I sleep all night, and that was pretty loud.
No,
so
you rose in volume, yeah.
Well, because now you want to talk about pressure, you want to talk about what's going on with me, and I don't start with a nice little verse about him having lunch and scones and things.
No.
I go right to the verse where he says he wears women's underwear and puts on women's clothing, hangs around in bars.
Yes.
I'm just singing this at the top of my lungs.
You're kind of screaming it because I literally heard it reverb. And I thought, at one point, he might have had you on the mic because it sounded so loud in the store. It was like almost mic.
And I was wondering why he didn't shut the door.
That's probably why.
And I get through, and the wonderful thing was, probably the best shot I've ever had. The guy was so quick, it was like, whoop! And by the time I got through one line of the Lumberjack song, I wasn't really feeling anything, and I was like, Band-Aid. Wow, finish the verse, because you can't stop in the middle of the verse.
No, of course not.
And I was like, well, thank you very much. And I'm like, and I wander out, and I'm like, let us not go back to the aisle where the people are.
No, I said right, and I made him write it on your card to make sure you had the notes written.
But I didn't want anybody looking, because they know somebody was singing very loudly a Monty Python song about a transvestite.
I didn't hear anyone singing along, so you probably weren't mic'd, but it was pretty loud,
See, maybe 20 years ago, you had gotten a lot of chuckles and people recognized it. Now, in this day and age, I was like, who's singing this insane song?
But maybe some of the folks might have. I didn't hear any.
But that is my lumberjack, and my this is my adulting story of the day. And I was like, just leave the sushi, because we bought sushi beforehand, because we had to do some stuff at a bank. And it's, just leave it in the car. We'll just be in like 10, 20 minutes. I'll carry the sushi into Walgreens.
It would have cooked it. It would have cooked
it. Yeah, well, it would have made interesting mushrooms grow on it.
Oh, yeah. No, especially things like that. Like, they always say, I don't know where I read this, but, like, you shouldn't leave even water bottles filled with water in the car because the heat will melt the plastic. Oh. So you're drinking plastic. I remember reading it.
I don't think that's... I mean, it would have to be like 150... Like, you cook a child in a car in that way.
Yeah, but you can't leave animals or anyone in a car. It's very hot. It's hot metal and sun. I'm like, Yeah.
No, so that was very wise of you to bring the sushi. And you made me a delicious cookie crumble shake. It's better than Starbucks does.
They make it more... thick. I made it more like thinner. I didn't.
It was wonderful. You make me another one today.
The best thing is when with my Uncle Bob, like, I think it was the serotonin or the dopamine with the Parkinson's, and he loves sweets. Like, he was a sweetaholic. He loved sweets, and the best thing I used to get for him was malt powder. Mm-hmm. And if you put malt powder when you make a milkshake, it adds a whole other level. Yeah. It's like some kind of malted. I found it somewhere.
My dad lived, when he was on various diets, he could have Alba 77 malteds. And he loved it.
Yeah, there's something about it. But it's like a malt powder. I don't know where we got it, but he really loved it,
So thank you for that.
Yeah.
And so it was fair. I went through the trauma of hell. But I got sushi and a milkshake out of it.
and an Old Bay bagel.
And an Old Bay bagel, which wasn't bad. I mean, it's actually very good. The people who say, you can't get a decent bagel outside. You can.
I had an everything bagel.
Everything whole wheat.
It was good.
It was good, yeah. All right, I'm running, as always, I'm running kind of late. So let me bring in the guests of it, which is recording anyway. Mm-hmm. Okay. The guest into the Daverhood. And then following the guest, we will, of course, have more guests to come and play our Today, Yesterday trivia quiz. But this is what you guys have been waiting for. You don't want to hear me, well, maybe you do want to hear me talk about my poor my little arm. Look at that, I got the boo-boo and everything. But I'm boosted. I am boosted. And my mood is boosted and elevated by being able to have on this program momentarily Bernie Kopell and Hal Linden. Bernie Kopell, of course, from The Love Boat and from Get Smart. Hal Linden from The Rothschilds on Broadway and Barney Miller and tons of cabaret appearances and musical appearances. Oh my gosh. So let me, what I'm going to do is share Mr. Screen so that I can bring up, I can bring up my desktop. I hope I don't have anything on there you can't really see. Get rid of my mail. Do not need to see that. Last week's thing, the Zoom thing, which I'll put right down here. Oh, and the next voices you will hear, all three of them are quite Jewish. Bernie Kopell, Hal Linden, and Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches, who was with us from our very first program. He is with us again in the Daverhood. Hold it. Hold on. What's going on here? All right, a little bit of a technical difficulty. Let's try that. Let's try that. One more time from the top. Oh my God. Okay, freaking out here a little bit. Wait, why headphones? Oh, let's do this one more time. One more time. Yeah, the show is going so well. This is my life. The show is going so well. Let's try this one more time. Oh, shalom, my friends, shalom, my enemies. This is your old pal, Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And oh boy, am I so delighted to have two veteran people of the stage and of television with us in the neighborhood on this Dave's Gone By program. You can recognize these people. Let's go in at least my upper left. I'm not sure where he is on your screen, but we have the one, the only, Bernie Kopell. My God, you know him. You know he's been, of course, Siegfried in Get Smart. He was also, for many years, Doc on Love Boat. He's done a ton of theater regionally as well. You know him, you love him. It's Bernie Kopell. But before we stop with that, we also have, of course, you recognize Barney Miller himself. And you might know, if you're a theater person, he's also a Tony Award winner for the Rothschilds. So he played a Jewish guy. He also won an Emmy playing a rabbi. I think we mentioned this last time when he was on this show. He was even the host of Animals, which, I'm sorry, that's a redundant title, but fine. Two-time daytime Emmy winner for FYI. Oh my God, FYI, we have with us Bernie Kopell and Hal Linden. Shalom to you both.
Shalom back to you.
Shalom. So both of you are currently in a play at the St. Clement's Theater off Broadway. It's called, what else could it be called? Two Jews Talking. And there's two one-act plays with Jews talking to each other. It's playing now through at least October 23rd. So first of all, the inevitable question, how are you guys feeling? And how do you guys hold up after doing really 4 shows on a weekend? Friday, 2 on Saturday, on Shabbos. I don't know why you're doing it on Shabbos. But then one on Sunday also. How are you managing?
Managing well, managing very well. We're getting full houses. We're delighted with that. It's a treat. At my age and at Hal's age, by the way, it's so wonderful to be working with Hal. I've admired him for such a long time. I don't want to use that old thing about I've admired him since I was a little boy. I'm not going to say that. But, he's a brilliant actor and great friend. We're having a ball.
Bernie, you're absolutely right. I'm admirable.
There's that Jewish humor creeping through. Yes, when you go on stage, you do the show.
The answer to your question, by the way, is we've been doing it for a while. This is not something new for either one of us. We've been in the theater I made my Broadway debut in 1958. I'm lousy at math, so you figure out how long ago that was.
I need an abacus for that. I couldn't even tell you.
Right. So 4 shows a week with we were just sitting around, 2 Jews talking. It's basically a snap from both of us.
That's wonderful. I mean, because a lot of people complain, oh my God, that's a long, 4 shows crunched over 3 days is a lot for most actors. But you guys, we sit down, we talk, we schmooze, the audience loves us, boom.
And we've been doing it for so long that it's habit by now.
So how did Ed Weinberger, who's written for a lot of TV, he wrote the plays, how did he contact you guys? How did you guys get involved with the show?
He got me involved first.
Okay.
The play was written with Ed Asner in mind. Ed, he put it together. He had worked with Ed, of course, on Mary Tyler Moore. And when Ed died, Ed Weinberger called me, and we got Bernie involved. So that's the beginning of the show.
How high was Bernie on the check? Well, once they got you, was there a lift thing? This, or was Bernie like all the way up? Oh, gotta be Bernie, gotta be him.
They had a list. The list was, let's see which Jews are still alive. And I was one of the alive ones, and I got lucky.
Well, we've, of course, been very lucky to see both of you on TV and things like that. Bernie, I read somewhere, or maybe it was on your website or something, that you actually did voices on the Jack Benny show. Was it? Did you know Jack Benny? What?
Jack Benny was such a prince, and I had some questionable experiences with some major stars. But Jack Benny, at one point during our sketch, a brilliantly written sketch, Jack said, "How come you know your part so well, you son of a bitch?" So I said, "Well, working with you, I couldn't bear to mess up, so I just went over it 1,000 times." And this is what he did. He just went and made the sketch like, "Don't praise me." It was just so sweet. And, he had a team of writers. And I remember Dennis Day on the show. He says, "Oh, I love it when Mr. Benny invites me to his home for dinner. The food is always so great, and the prices are so reasonable."
Oh my! Wow! Now I will say before I get back to Linden there, I also heard you talk to you mentioned some stars not so good. So when you were talking to the Museum of Television or something, you mentioned a story about Shelley Winters.
Let's not get into that, please. We want to just keep positive things happening here, okay?
All right, tell the story then about Eva Marie Saint instead.
Eva Marie Saint, the word fits her name. We were in Greece, and I was studying for a play that I was going to be doing when we come back to LA. And she's passing by on a break. She's, "Bernie, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm reading this play and I'm studying the play. So when we get back, I'll be more and more familiar with it." She said, I couldn't believe this, an Academy Award winner and a beautiful human being. She said, "Would you like me to cue you?" Oh, I said, I couldn't do that. I said, "You're an Academy Award winner." She said, "I do it for all my friends." So I said, "Well, reluctant." Okay, I'd appreciate it. And she did that. And then I thought, after she cued me, I said, I wonder if she did that with Brando, with On the Waterfront. She was just an angel of a human being.
Well, let me ask Hal Linden then, and all the people that you've worked with. You've done probably a bit more theater than Bernie Kopell, but you've also done a ton of movies and television things. Who's a mensch, who's a great human being that you've worked, that you have a story about?
How about Judy Holliday?
How about her? Bells are ringing. Yes, please.
That was my very first show. I was the understudy. And I was thrust onto the stage before I ever had any rehearsal with Judy. So here I was at a Saturday matinee doing the show, and we get to the number Just in Time, which is from Bells Are Ringing. And Just in Time was done in one, which means down in the front of the stage with a flat right behind it, a curtain right behind it. And all it was, the only staging was we were on our way to a party. And I took her in my arms and danced with her. Just in time. And I danced right across the stage to the other side of the stage. Well, I just took her in my arms and I started singing in her ear, basically, you know. And I got about 4 bars into the song when I felt her hand on my back twisting me like this. And I realized she was turning me so that I would face the audience, because I was just holding her where I was singing into the wings, basically. And she just turned me so that I would be facing the audience. She did that the whole show for every actor. She would turn her back to the audience so that the attention would be on the actor whose scene it was.
Right. That's a pro. She was a pro and a helper. You make the show better by making everybody better. That's the idea.
Right.
Yes, that's a. You're absolutely right, but not every actor thinks that way. Oh. Most actors think, "How can I get the attention on me?" And but he was a star over the title. Everybody knew. Nobody else had a name, and she would just put the attention on whose scene it was, who had to be the center of attention.
Now I do have. Sorry.
My point is, it's not only a theatrical move; it's a human move. It's a personal attribute of someone who thinks in that line. You asked me who's a mensch. Mensch is a male term, but it refers to
a mensch-like as well.
Mensch-like activity, mensch-like behavior, and I can only. That's what she was.
Wow. Well, let me also ask some more. Since I've got you, Hal, Linden, and Bernie, I promise I'll get back to you too. But whether they behaved as mensches or not, but I would love a story about working with Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau, because you were in a movie with them when it wasn't an Odd Couple thing. It was called Out to Sea, and Donald O'Connor was there too. Do you have any stories about any of those people?
Other than that, Matthau was a very funny human being, and Lemmon was a very human being. He was open to everything. And Matthau saw the humor in everything. I can't give you any specific details. I didn't have that many scenes with him, quite honestly. I did most of my scenes with Donald O'Connor, who is also a pretty nice guy. The only thing I can tell you about Donald O'Connor is there was we played dance instructors on an ocean liner. Bernie, you know about ocean liners, don't you?
Oh yes, I have some remote memories of that. Yes.
I'm wearing hats on my shirt in case you can't see. So yes, it's all.
We played dance instructors, and they did one number where they did the Macarena, was popular at the time. And Donald O'Connor kept asking me, "How do you do that?"
He asked you for dance tips.
That's right. Great. How do you do the Macarena?
So that's sweet. It's lovely to just hear these stories. Bernie, I'm not just looking for dirt. I'm looking for funny or human stories about people. For example, your long-term collaboration, if you will, that didn't just stop with Get Smart, but with Mel Brooks, because you were on When Things Were Rotten too. So are you still in touch with Mel Brooks? Do you consider yourself like an acquaintance friend? Any great stories about him?
You read Mel's book, I'm in it twice, referring to Get Smart and then When Things Were Rotten. But Mel when I was doing Get Smart, I said, "Oh, Mel is coming," because he was busy with feature films at the time. But he would come to our set, and he and his lovely wife had just come back from a tour of Italy. So I said, "Everybody's gathered. Oh, Mel is here. Mel is here." So I said, "Mel, when you were in Italy, what was the greatest architectural achievement you saw in Italy?" Without missing a beat, he says, "Carlo Ponti's elevator shoes that permit him to kiss Sophia Loren on the lips." Mel Brooks, holy mackerel. There's something that I remember very well. I had done a ton of Bewitched with a gorgeous Elizabeth Montgomery. And every year rolls around, and I had done a ton of them, especially the 100-year-old Apothecary, which took about 2.5 hours in makeup. If I did it today, I'd sit in the makeup chair, and the guy would say, "What do you need? You're fine. Get out of here." Anyway, so every year, Harry Ackerman, the head of Screen Gems, would have auditions. So I auditioned one year. And I said, "Oh, I prepared everything for Harry Ackerman. All the writers are around." Nothing happened. The second year, the same thing happened. The third year, I put everything together, everything I could remember. Nothing happened. The fifth year, the same thing happened. The sixth year, I get called in, and everybody's all gathered around. And I say, "Okay, Bernie Kopell, come on in." I come in, and they start asking me questions. I don't say a word. I don't say anything. I just stand there. And then they said, "Well, would you like to say something?" I didn't say anything. I just reached into my pocket, and I learned to skip rope at that time. And something happened here.
Linden is skipping rope as we speak.
I lost the picture.
Okay. So did I.
We still hear you, though.
There it is up there.
Wait a minute. There you go.
Welcome back. Shalom.
Okay. May I finish this story?
Yes, please.
Please, I'm sorry. I think it was my computer that screwed you. Go.
Well, it's nice. It's nice to happen to you every once in a while. Anyway, so I just stand there. I reach into my pocket and I pull out my skip rope, and I do 3 minutes skipping, and another big finish. This, and a double, boom. I just stare at them, and I walk out. And then he comes in the outer office, and he says, "Bernie, what happened? What happened?" I said, "You've seen everything else," and I walked away. And I still didn't get the fakakta part.
I thought, that was a twist. I thought, well. Can I ask you both, since you've been in the business like literally 70 years, was there a role either of you was up for that you really, really wanted, that you would have been great for, but it just didn't happen? Because you've had great luck getting the roles you did, but was there one thing that's like, I wanted that, and then it went to someone else?
It happened to me on Broadway. Actually, I got the part, but circumstances were such. It was the second road company of Music Man, right after the original Broadway. So it would be 1961 or 2, something like that. So, yeah, my daughter, I got the part, but I had just had a baby, my first child, and I couldn't, what do I do? Go on the road and leave my wife home with the baby, or travel with a 1-year-old or a 9-month-old baby? So we figured out what it would cost to take a nanny with us. And so with the agent, we got together, and they discussed it with the producer. This is what it would take to get him to go on the road. And the producer was
Bloomgarten, or was it? It wasn't Merrick. Who was it? It was
no. He was German. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
He had a German accent. I can't think of his name.
So, okay, all right.
I think it was like and it wasn't a big amount. I think it was like $3,000 a week or something to star in the second company. And he said, $3,000. For $3,000, I could get Dennis Morgan.
Okay.
So I never played music, man.
Well, the thing is, you just proved you couldn't play Siegfried. You got the accent right there. You're fucking get smart.
We could have alternated.
Now, Bernie, the question goes back to you. Was there a part? Because you got 2 roles of a lifetime, not just one, really. So, a part that you really wanted that didn't quite happen, or you had to turn it down.
No, what Leonard Stern, who was a great mentor of mine, and he handed me Siegfried at one time. It was just he became a lifetime great friend, and we were great friends until he passed away. 47 years, the guy was just wonderful to me. But at one time, he said, "Bern, would you like to do this part in Run, Buddy, Run? This will be for the lead. Run, Buddy, Run." I said, "I'd love it." I had no idea what it was. So I'm leaving his office, and he looks out the window and looks at me. He says, "Bernie, run funny, okay? Can you run funny?" I said, "Oh, yeah." And I ran funny, and he laughed. Anyway, I had it for 8 months of my life. Then I get a call to come into the office of Talent Associates. And one of the guys I was not that crazy about, he's on the phone. He said, "Yeah, hold on, this will just take a second." He said, "Bernie, sorry, you're out of the sketch. You're out of the sketch. So go home, have a drink, have a nap." He says, "Okay, Harry, I'm back on the phone." This was very disappointing. My father was passing away at the same time. But these things happen. These things happen, and you got to roll with it. You got to roll with it.
Now, can I ask you, both of you, has anything funny or weird happened in the audience? You know, we're in a post-COVID world. You're in a small theater off Broadway now called the St. Clement's Theater over on West 46th Street, doing this show, Two Jews Talking. You know, the audience, I'm sure, is 50, 60, 70, 80 plus. Have you had any, hearing aid? Have you had anybody plots? What?
No problem. I haven't seen any problem. Have you, Bernie?
No, we didn't have any problem like that. But what was unusual, we started our run in North Carolina. I think there may be 3 Jews in the entire state. So we did it, and surprisingly and delightfully, they loved it.
Yeah.
And that was very gratifying.
Well, we haven't said what the plays are actually about. So if you were to explain to Goyim what the 2 one-act plays in Two Jews Talking are, either one of you, how would you say, "Hey, come to the St. Clement's Theater and see this"? What happens?
Go, Hal.
I think it's just the interreaction of 2 people of age, sharing their concerns. Yes, they're both Jews, so it turns it stays in that context. But it's just when I heard the title, I said to Ed, "It might be a limiting title. You think we'll only get? I mean, there aren't that many Jews in America." But then, as we worked on it, it appeared to me it's the most honest title there is, because that's what it is. Just 2 Jews sitting on a bench or on a rock, talking to each other about what their concerns are. And those concerns are universal, really, when you think about it. It's about faith. It's about friendship. It's about the physical disabilities of age. And I think it resounds with a lot of people. You don't even have to be old to appreciate what we're talking about. Or you certainly don't have to be Jewish to appreciate what we're talking about.
And if I can ask you, or Bernie, in the sense of, you said you've been working on this for quite a while. It was North Carolina, then the COVID. Yeah. So between that table read and we were first rehearsing it and now, what are things you discovered about the play or maybe changed in the play or in your performances that weren't there 2, 3, 4 years ago?
Well, it wasn't years. It wasn't years. It was just this year.
Oh, all right. Okay, sorry.
Just this year. Defining what the play was about, defining what the characters are about. That's what the rehearsal period is about. Is attempts, try this, try that. Does this work? Does that work? There's very little you can prejudge when you. Yes, you read a script and you kind of put a frame around it and you decide how it's going to play, and then when you play it, it doesn't work. So that's what the rehearsal period is about. It's about finding the play and the relationship. And I think I think it did change from day one, certainly to what we have now.
Now, Bernie, was there a moment when you were either in rehearsal or already into the run somewhere where you knew you had the character? Like sometimes even at the end of rehearsals, you feel like you kind of got it, but you're not all the way there. Was there a line or a moment where like, I'm there?
I mean, an epiphany.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the classic thing of acting on stage or acting always. You just find a way, you find the way, you find the character, and you continue to find the character. But basically, Moses has just delivered us from Egypt, where we were slaves for 400 years. And this is basically what it's all about. He doesn't believe in Moses. I do believe in Moses, and I keep trying to get him back on the track of believing in God, believing in Moses, believing in the promised land, and you feel great concern for each other, for your fellow man in general, and there's a lovely aspect to the play. It's two Jews, two human beings caring about each other, and it ends. I don't want to tell you exactly how it ends, but it ends in a very emotional, loving way.
And that's part one. Then in the first act, you were more.
That's the end. That's the end.
I'm sorry. It's the end of the actual thing. Oh, sorry. All right.
In answer to your question, really, there is no epiphany. There are epiphanies along the way that find moments, that find arcs, that find skeletons, spines that you can hang your performance on. There are a whole bunch of them, but there's no one moment, and it's a continuing process. That is, every time we get on the stage, it's new. It's new. Bernie would say something with a different accent on one word that elicits a different response from me, and vice versa. That's probably one of the glories of stage acting, is that you're really getting out there and having it happen right there at the moment. The experience the character is going through, you experience at the moment, every day, every show, differently, because of their audience response, because of what an actor does. It's a continuing process.
At this moment, we are delighted to be talking to Bernie Kopell and Hal Linden. Do you have a couple of minutes? We're coming up on the half-hour mark, but do you have a couple more for a couple more questions? Or
go right ahead, please.
Oh, please, wonderful. Okay, because Bernie, since speaking of moments and memories and things like this, what about growing up in Brooklyn back in the day? Tell us a Brooklyn story.
Well, Brooklyn story. My father was in the jewelry business, and he created in my mind the belief that the only way I could ever make a living was to get into his jewelry business, which I didn't care for that much. So at one point in Erasmus Hall High School, I had a teacher, Miss Searles. And Miss Searles said at one point, and I don't know why she said this, she said, Mr. Kopell, may we use your voice for verse choir, which was an extracurricular little organization. So I said, oh, okay, fine, sort of surprised. So I got into that, and we read playlets, little pieces of literature. Then I got into the Boys High radio workshop, and then I got into the Old City radio workshop, and I said, this is more fun than the jewelry business. I like it. And then I got into NYU, and whatever reason, I had such support and nurturing from the chairman of the drama department. And I said, I may be able to do this. And I pursued that. There were a lot of no's, a lot of forget about it. Who do you think you are? You're not. Well, Jim Drury who played the Virginian was a classmate of mine. And as soon as he got into the drama department, all the girls pointed to him. I said, Hollywood, they pointed to him. So he started working in the Westerns immediately, and he ended up being the Virginian. So I got into the Navy. I come out of the Navy, and I'm back in New York, and nothing has happened. Nothing. So he calls one day. I said, Bern, come on out to Hollywood. I got an agent for you. So I go out to Hollywood. This is a magic carpet. Holy mackerel, I do this terrific. So I go see his agent. I have a little crummy resume, my 8x10. And the agent looks at it and he says, did Jim tell you I'd be your agent? How can I be your agent? He says, you're not handsome enough to be a leading man. You're not ugly enough to be a heavy. And I was dismissed. However, I had a consciousness of, I got to keep going. I got to keep trying. And one day I had an agent who was very slow. He was so slow. How slow was he?
How slow was he?
He would send me up for parts that had already been cast. That's how slow this guy was. Anyway, I go in, and there was a part of the casting lady said, while you're here, would you like to read for Pablo? And I'm saying to myself, this is adding such insult to injury. And I said, okay, I will read for Buzz Blair, the director, the writer. I read, and I said, how can I do it? I'd never done it before. I said, how can I do this? Jack Parr had this piano player, Jose Melis. Jose Melis was going on it. I said, I'll do them. I didn't care if I was taking the precious time of this guy. I nailed it, and I got it. 3 months of my life, I'm playing a Latino bad guy. So
actually, this I want to bank off that to ask Cal Linden there. Was there ever a point, an audition that you went for when you were like, I don't care, I'm not tense, I'm not nervous about this, it's a throwaway, and then it turns out, boom, that's exactly the attitude you needed because you nailed it?
No.
Okay.
The next question. I admire the question, but no. Just to, Bernie told you his Brooklyn story. I'll tell you my Bronx story.
Please.
Okay. I never set foot on a stage in high school, elementary school, middle school, high school, or college. I had no interest in the theater, as opposed to Bernie, who was there right off the bat. I was a classically trained musician, clarinet. If I had the slightest bit of discipline in my life, I probably would have spent my life in the first chair of a major symphony orchestra. I was that good. At puberty, I discovered that more girls went to dances than went to concerts. So I took up the saxophone. and became a jazz musician. I played in the big bands.
Were you in R.A. Shaw or Benny Goodman or any of them?
Not quite. I never got to the Glenn Miller, Tommy Dorsey level, but I did play with Bobby Sherwood. I don't know if the name Ray McKinley, Les Brown.
And the renown, yes.
Yeah. Singing saxophone player. That was my seat. I never got to be the boy singer in the band. And it was only accidentally that I became an actor. In the Army, a piano player that played with us, I was in an Army band. And we had a piano player. We used to play the Officers Club on weekends and the Service Club and all those things. And he used to get borrowed by Special Services. And one day, because they didn't have a piano player on staff, so whenever they had to do a show, they would borrow him. And one day he just turned to me and said, you want to sing a song in the show? I'll borrow you too. I said, okay. And anyway, that was the first time I ever sang a song without a saxophone hanging around my neck in a theatrical context, and it started the whole thing.
Was there ever a point when?
Let me just point out that he asked me. I didn't ask him. That has haunted me my entire life. What if he didn't ask me? Would I have found a different way to get into it? I have no idea.
Huh. I mean, well, it's always, everything is serendipity. Everything is being there at the moment. There's lucking. I mean, if you hadn't had the mustache, which would have been cast as Barney, we'll never know. You did. So you were. You know, we can never really foresee those. Was there ever a moment, though, when you were thinking of giving, the acting thing, giving up, I'll just go back to music, or you had, like Bernie did, no, I'm doing this no matter what?
Actually, I was very much in demand as a singing saxophone player. And once I made my Broadway debut, or actually once I made my Broadway debut, I put the sax in a closet and I said, I'm not going to take any more gigs. I got to concentrate on this because it was too seductive. There were too many requests come back I specifically put music behind me. What happened was I made a living for about a decade doing understudy work, backers auditions, demonstration records, jingles, you name it. Anything associated with the business. I made a living.
Yeah.
I never had to wait on tables. I never drove a cab. I never did any of that stuff. So I never was really seduced to leave the business. I never really was close to giving it up because I was surviving. I raised 4 kids on the west side of Manhattan during that period. I wasn't really solvent until I had 4 kids.
And I was even going to mention that you were in an industrial called Diesel Dazzle that still exists. They made a record of this thing.
Oh yeah. Industrial shows. Did I leave that off the list? I did anything that there was to do associated with theater, and occasionally in that. Actually, I'm talking about a decade, about 9 years. I did about 6 or 7 or 8 Broadway shows as a standby or in a small part. So I just kept.
You make scale. You do what you got to do, and it got you and 4 kids through with Mazel McClick. Now, speaking of things that you're doing, through October 23rd, people can go see you, both of you, at the St. Clement's Theater in the show, Two Jews Talking. But
it's actually called the Theater at St. Clement's.
You're right.
Because St. Clement's, on a different day, is a church.
So it's not in the church, God forbid. It's in the actual theater at St. Clement's over on West 46th Street, just off 8th. It's like between 8th and 9th. It's Restaurant Row, or 1 block over from there in New York.
Over.
let me ask you a last question, because I know, you've been so delightful giving us your extra time here. What are your plans for October 24th?
Ernie, you're going to be on the boat.
My plans, if you can read what's on my little shirt here, Love Boat. Gavin MacLeod, my dear, dear friend and co-actor. We're honoring Gavin MacLeod, who passed away about a year ago. And I've probably known him the longest of all the Love Boat Tears. And we're honoring Gavin with a special cruise. And I'm delighted to do that. He was amazing to be with. They tried, we had 3 pilots. The first one, the captain, was a very handsome Australian, blonde hair, blue-eyed. But ABC said, well, this guy's not really right for this. Very nice fella. He's not right for this. The second one was a guy on the soaps. And they said, again, he wasn't right. So ABC now is getting a little bit fed up with us. And they said, we're not going to send you out on the ship anymore. We'll do the 3rd pilot on the Queen Mary, which we did. And Gavin, I met him on McHale's Navy. And he was not very happy because he didn't really have enough to do, because he had just come off a film with Cary Grant, Operation Petticoat, and then he did the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Great, great words. Let's get Gavin MacLeod. He was a little reluctant. We got him, and he had everything that they wanted in the captain. He had the authority, he had the humor, he had the kindness, and that kept us going for 10 years and then an additional 3 years. So, and then he passed away, a dear, dear friend. So we'll honor him with a cruise.
Are you saying it's a cruise that fans of the show can be on, or is this just for former members of the cast and crew? When you say it's a cruise, who's cruising?
The cruise is all the Love Boat people. Will be saying something in honor of Gavin, but all the people who buy tickets to be on the cruise is great. So that's what keeps Princess thriving.
Of course. And what about you, Hal? First of all, actually, while I bring that up, are you in touch with any old Barney Miller people? Barbara Barry's still alive, I believe. A couple of the guys.
I haven't seen Barbara in a long time. Max Scale and I are still friends. We dine together occasionally just to revive that. Unfortunately, from the original, we're the only ones left from the original. Yes, it's a little tough. By the way, I was on the 2nd pilot of Love Boat.
I didn't want to mention that, but it's true. You have that connection. That were you going to be Stubing, or who were you? I know you're coming up on time.
Anyway, in answer to your question, there's the picture, the Love Boat picture that somebody sent me. I'd showed this to Bernie. I just got this in the mail.
Oh my goodness! There you are.
Wow.
There I are.
How about that? Without you, we'd be in the caca place.
In answer to your question, I'm heading to Kansas City, the new theater, to do Come Blow Your Horn. I'll be there over the holidays into January.
Are you playing the father, the guy with the wax fruit? Who are you? Wow.
Sure. Well, I'm a little old for the son.
Well, with the 2 sons, you'll be old for the youngest son, but the more experienced son. I should tell. I will. And there was the producer of this program, Dave, whom you briefly met before we started recording. His first role was a high school production of Come Blow Your Horn, where he played the father. So it all comes around. Everybody, come around to the theater at St. Clement's. I said it right that time. Right. St. Clement's on West 46th Street. Tickets via telecharge to see 2 Jews talking. It's playing now through October 23rd, 4 times a week. Please go see Bernie Kopell. Go see Hal Linden. Go have a wonderful time with these distinguished and funny and fun and lovely gentlemen. All I can do is thank you again so much for being with us in the Daverhood.
Pleasure, sir.
Thank you. It was delightful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Shalom to you.
Shalom.
You believe that, Bernie?
That's amazing. We're still alive, and that's terrific.
Any of these people end up on the show? I don't know.
Who was this? Who was that?
Florence Henderson.
Florence Henderson.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
All right.
she must have done 7 or 8 of the shows.
Well, bless you again. Bless you both. Thank you so much. We'll go.
Thank you. Thank you for your blessing.
Bye bye. Yes, my friends. Wasn't that absolutely wonderful?
Wow.
What a terrific time with Rabbi Sal Solomon, Hal Linden, and of course Bernie Kopell. And if you want a real treat, also, if you want more of Bernie Kopell and his stories, he did an interview for the rabbi alluded to it for, I think it was the Museum of Radio and Television,
Oh, wow.
or whatever they call that now. It's an hour and a half long, and it's just his stories about people, positive and negative. Check them out. And of course, check those 2 guys out off Broadway in Two Jews Talking. Well, we have a goy talking with us in just a moment. We see her in the beautiful Field of Dreams behind her with sheaves of wheat like in the Woody Allen movie. Welcome to Vicki Quade. Hello, Vicki. How are you?
I'm fine. Well, it's my harvest, you know. See, right.
You
Right.
harvest souls, like Jesus supposedly reeled in people like fish. You harvest people like wheat, except I'm just pure chaff, essentially. And I've got chaffed legs, which I've got Vaseline on. But Vicki Quade is the co-creator of the long-running and delightful comedy show, which is called Late Night Catechism. And you can still see it, her in it sometimes, other times other people playing the head nun. This is at the Greenhouse Theater in Chicago. And is it in rep now with Bible Bingo? I know you
It is right now. But next month in October, we switch. It'll be in rep with Holy Ghost Bingo.
Holy
Which
Ghost
is
Bingo.
my Halloween show.
Of course. So if you're in Chicago, if you've never seen Late Night Catechism or Bible Bingo, by all means, head to the Greenhouse for a delightful time. Now, we hope to have a delightful time with Vicki Quade here and also our very good friend Moshe Denberg. So it's except for Vicki, it's a very Jewish show, but Moshe Denberg is going to be playing the Today, Yesterday trivia quiz. Here's the deal, Vicki, and
I want to say my DNA shows that I'm 0.4% Jewish.
Really?
I don't know what percent, where that is in my body, but I am 0.4% Jewish.
Why are you playing a nun? Shame on you. You should be playing a Rebbitzin. What's the matter with you?
was Jewish. Come on.
But 0.4% of Vicki Quade is intelligent and above the level of the rest of the population. So yay. The cheeks part, not so much, but we'll do that. No, but seriously, I do want to say and give a shout out to 2 different people. Leslie Hoban Blake could not be with us to play the game today. She lost a longtime friend earlier in the week and let us know. And then David had to be pulled away for a work thing today. So it's going to be Vicki versus, and now I'm waiting for Moshe. I wonder if I need to send Moshe the
He
link.
said, I could check, but he said it's
That would help.
Yeah. Well, hold it. I think he's logging on as we speak.
All right.
Even though he doesn't look like a Louise Arney, but
That's his wife, I believe.
I'm hoping so. Either that or he's had some surgery that he hasn't told any of us about. So logging in to join Vicki. And Vicki, how was your week? How have you been doing?
Oh my goodness, it has been busy because I'm constantly marketing. And I was in DeKalb last night. My college newspaper had a reunion, and it was so much fun. Because you haven't seen these people in 40 some years, and then you look at them and you go, is it? I think that is. And I'm sure they're doing that to me. So they were saying, you got to wear your name tag.
Actually, how many people of your college newspaper not just remembered you from 45 years ago, but knew, oh my God, Late Night Catechism late.
All of them.
Yeah. Wow. Was there anybody else there who, without necessarily telling tales out of school, is now kind of well or known in newspaper circles?
Yeah, NIU produced and continues to produce amazing journalists. We have people who have won Pulitzers, who have gone on to major careers, a groundbreaking, award-winning. Yeah, oh yeah, it is a really good group of people.
I mean, there's a reason I ditched my high school reunions, because I have to go there and say, so I do this. For 20 years, once a week, I do this. And you cured what disease? Oh, yeah, good for you. Oh, you're running what Bolivian country out there? Yeah, no, I do this. And I do this with one.
Lie and say you created Post-its. I created Post-its.
And wonderful people like Moshe Denburg joining us, first time in a few months now. Hey, Moshe.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, because I got to get up really early to catch the worm here in Vancouver.
Well, yeah, but I did give you
that's
15 extra minutes today than you thought. So you had a little.
It's okay. Actually, you gave me an extra 15 minutes. Thanks very much, Dave. How are you doing?
Is it 6:30 there?
No, it's 7:30. It's
What are you complaining about?
a Shabbos morning. A Shabbos morning.
Italy?
Vancouver, Canada.
Oh, Vancouver. Eh?
So, how has music been? Moshe is, of course, a musician, composer. He has the band called Simis, where they do modern
such a great name.
Jewish music and klezmer stuff.
Such a great name.
So what's new? Oh, he's showing us what's new.
Uh-oh.
Simis.net. Now, he has that ready in case he misses a question.
Excellent.
Simis.net.
Well, I brought a piece of paper here and a pen so that I can answer your special question, or when we have to write something down, generally speaking, Dave.
Well, I appreciate that. And by the way, this is a first, absolutely a first, because very often my wife Joyce plays along, or she's really dealing with the Facebook stuff and checking if people are answering at home. Your third, we are going to have
Joyce.
is going to be Joyce off camera, but she'll hear.
Oh yeah, David couldn't make it.
Oh, David couldn't make it last minute, and Leslie could not make it earlier in the week either. So it's going to be you guys and Joyce playing the today, yesterday trivia quiz. Now, Joyce,
Can you do a white fang kind of thing?
I will be lowering the curve, so don't worry.
well, you have some nice.
Actually, Vicki, how are you doing? Because after our first encounter, which was the last time I was on, we met and we became Facebook friends.
We are Facebook friends. That's right. I'm
So
fine.
great.
Yeah, busy. Busy trying to pick up business. Just doing what everyone else is doing. So
You're in the wheat. You're in the wheat
I'm in
business.
the wheat. It's the harvest. It's the harvest time.
Oh, it's the harvest.
Yeah, I'm
It's
only
the-
trying to be a harvest. I'm going to actually restore down and close out some of my. It's dinging and it's driving me nuts.
Well, I'll tell you, the wheat business you wouldn't think, but you make a lot of bread doing that. So thank you very much. Thank you.
All right.
Joyce, can you do me a favor?
There.
Since you are our newest
Oh, geez.
player,
Yeah.
could you pick a number between 1 and 6?
I'll take. What does Leslie pick? 5 or 6?
She usually goes with
6.
boxcars with 6.
I'll go to 6. I'm gonna channel Leslie.
Joyce with a big old 6. And Moshe, since you are our second least played player, can you pick a number from 1 to 6 that isn't 6?
3.
3. And Vicki?
1.
1.
Ooh.
I've never picked 1 before.
No, you
Oh,
never
you
did
are,
pick
well,
me.
you're number 1 in our book, except so are you, Moshe, and so are you, Joyce.
Oh,
So
thank you.
I'm going to roll the die, and it's a shorter quiz than usual. We've got 6 questions plus a tiebreaker, as opposed to the usual
Sounds
9 1, because
Okay.
that makes busy too. So I'm going to roll the die, and sorry, I just came up with a number 2. I'm going to roll this again. 4. She rolls her hand, she shakes her hand every time I do that. 1, Vicki.
Whoop, whoop.
Numero uno. Do you want to be first, second, or third?
I'll go first.
Vicki with a first, and then I'm going to roll the die again so we can see who gets to answer the questions in what order. Joyce, it came up 6. Do you want to be second or third?
I think I want to be 3rd.
Joyce wants to be
Can I
third.
be 7th?
So, Moshe, you, by
I'm
default,
numero 2.
and default is not in the stars, it's in ourselves, you get to be in second
No kidding.
in terms of answering. Numero 2. So, well, and hey, that was a film by Jean-Luc Godard who died this week.
I know
There you
that.
go. Anyway, we'll get to the very first question. You all know how this works. These questions generally have to do with stuff that happened on September 17th in history, although some of them don't, and some ask for more recent stuff. But this first,
Dave, can I digress for a second? I'm curious to know what's on your T-shirt, on your shirt.
Well, you should have watched the first part of the show. I would have explained, but here we go.
Oh, I would have to get up at 5 o'clock.
Well,
This is my adulting T-shirt.
Because
That's good.
I
Adulting. This is a new concept. Adulting.
it's
The T-shirt's adulting, not Dave.
No, but as I explained early in the show, at the behest of my wife, I got my second booster yesterday.
Oh, good.
So
Oh,
my
mazel tov,
arm hurts.
Wait, just your second booster?
Yes.
Well, it means the 4th shot.
No, I've had 4 shots already. I just registered for my 5th.
Well, good for
Well,
you,
your fifth
Vicki.
is the-
Vicky, I'm on my 5th too.
The
Yeah.
bivalent one.
Yeah, I've had COVID. I've had the boosters. It's lucky that I've even gotten the one yesterday. Let me tell you. So, but I'm needle phobic, kind of. So
He's a big boy.
when I went
Today he's a big boy.
A baby.
adult,
He's a baby.
yeah. And minus 4 points for Vicki. Oh,
And
So-
do we get to see Joyce at all?
No.
Sometimes you'll see her flit.
She
like a
doesn't
moth.
exist. She's
Yeah.
just a robot voice
Don't
that
you see the
Dave has
blue on
created.
your arm from
My
when you
arm
took the
broke?
shot?
No, I don't think they want to see that.
This is the way she bruises. She had her COVID shot last Saturday. Well, don't show that. And she's still got a big black and blue mark on.
Wow, that's a reaction, boy.
If she ever went to a police station for anything, they would say she was a battered wife because she can touch something.
It's the fault
And-
of my mother's ancestry. We're very bruisophilic. We like to bruise.
It's insane. I mean, she was shaving her legs this week, and literally, this is kind of biting a little bit. And now she has like these huge red marks running down her. Do you want to show?
No,
No, she doesn't want to show.
They don't want to see that.
They're not bleeding anymore. But Vicky's like, no. So, okay, Vicki.
Yes.
We have a game to play. It's called the Today Yesterday Quiz. Each question is worth 2 points. So I'm going to need some of that. You can do the
Paper?
noises
You need paper?
and
You're
play
gonna
the game.
take this
Oh,
here?
I got paper. Paper I got.
Think you want your.
I need the snail
We
tambourine.
can't find the xylophone. I don't know.
But Moshe, do you use a snail tambourine in your band?
Not yet. You want to join? You want to join? You want to join?
Of course I do. Oh.
But
I got-
only at slow tempi.
Oh. I know, honey.
I'm working on it. All right, Vicki. Here's your first question. On September 1462.
Oh,
1462. It's a Teutonic tumble as Polish forces defeat the Prussians in the Battle of Zarnowitz. I'll spell it Zarnowiec, Zarnowitz, part of the 13 Years' War. Known mostly for its monastery, the town of Zarnowitz was also going to be the location of a major nuclear plant in the 1980s, but plans were canceled by locals who feared another Chernobyl. Which of these is false about the still not completed Zarnowitz nuclear power plant? I know you looked this up last night and did some research on it. So here are the questions or the potential answers. Only one of these is false. A, closing the nuclear plant was actually bad for the environment, since most of Poland's electricity mainly comes from coal.
Mhm.
B, even though the project was abandoned, more than 80% of the budget was spent. C, 2 of the reactors from the failed plant are still being used at the Salem nuclear power plant in Township, New Jersey. Or D, a 2008 poll showed that 70% of Poles would approve of a nuclear power plant within 100 kilometers of their home, but at the same time, 47% felt Poland should not invest in nuclear energy. One of these is false.
One is false. What's the one about New Jersey? What is that?
2 of the reactors from the failed plant are still being used at the Salem nuclear power plant in Township, New Jersey.
Why? I could believe the first. I could almost believe that they spent 80%. The third about the reactors being used, and the fourth about that they approve. I'm going to say the fourth is false.
You're saying the contradictory things of on one poll, so that 70% of polls will approve of a nuclear power plant within 100 kilometers of their home, but at the same time, 47% felt Poland should not invest in nuclear energy. You're saying that is not true.
Yes.
Do I contradict myself? Very well, I contradict myself. And it's Poland. Yes, but at the same time, when they said they won't mind a nuclear power plant, they did say we don't want a nuclear power plant.
But not here. We want it, but we want it in Germany.
No, they said it'd be okay within 100 kilometers. Well, I guess 100 kilometers from Poland is Germany, as we found out in 1939. So anyway, we have a steal opportunity. So I'm going to roll the die.
Oh, you mean Vicki was not correct? Okay.
I was wrong.
Not correct. That is a true thing.
So the three left are the coal thing.
We have to roll the
I'm
die.
rolling the die. Yeah, it's not that yet. You're
answer.
Oh, it's not me.
It may not be you. It may be you. So Vicki, you answered that one. I just rolled a 1, 2 again, 4 again, 1 again, 1 again, 1 again, 4 again. Jesus Christ. 4 again.
Clearly, I'm supposed to answer again.
Okay. Joyce, fine. I got a 6.
I'm gonna say just because you hate New Jersey, I'm gonna say New Jersey.
And that's your reasoning.
Because I don't think they would ship nuclear reactors all the way from Poland to New Jersey.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I would hope they would not.
I was thinking that too, but then I thought,
I would hope they would not send nuclear reactors from Poland to New Jersey.
Well, they got big stalkers carrying them on their back. No, you don't think so?
I hope not.
Is that your final answer?
I was leaning toward 1, the whole thing about coal, but I think the economy is coal, so I'm going to say New Jersey.
Final answer?
Yes.
This is why it's problematic when you're married to someone who knows you way too well. Joyce, for the very first time ever, you have 2 points on the board.
I was going to say that. I should have gone with my gut.
Well done, Joyce.
It's only because David has a running joke where he makes fun of New Jersey.
Everybody has a running joke when they make fun of New Jersey.
Yeah.
But did you know that of the 4 nuclear reactors that they were going to have in Poland and in this site, 2 were completely scrapped. Another is still being used for training in Finland.
Oh, good.
And the 4th is being used for training in Hungary.
I thought the one was on Free Cycle, like where you could get free stuff.
There was one on Craigslist for a while. If you can take it out of the yard, you can have your own reactor.
You can carry it home. You can have this nuclear reactor for free.
And if you buy the uranium on eBay, you're all set. So,
Etsy.
So, guess what? Joyce is leading the game, 2 points. But we're just beginning. Oh, we're just beginning.
Don't worry, I know nothing else, so.
Now, Moshe, you've played this game a couple of times, so you know what you're in for.
No.
Oh, 3 news. 3 news in the 3 clues in the news.
3 clues in the news, yes.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one. All right, so here's how it works. I'll remind you.
David, why don't you give him your adulting shirt?
If you need this, if you need encouraging, here it is.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to say 3 words.
Uh-oh.
These words are not connected to each other. Each word individually is connected to another word, the word that you're looking for. And that word will have something to do with something that happened in the news this past week. But I mean, let's see if I can...
Give the one with potatoes so we can have an example.
Yeah, or I tried this new one here. This is not the one, this is just a test one. If I were to say, spider shines pox, what word would come into your head?
Spider shines cocks.
No, pox. Pox with a P.
Man, you can do it, Moshe. It's so simple.
The spider shines cocks.
Not pox.
Oh no.
Pox.
Woo! We're going.
You're the dirty one. Pox with a P.
Think banana.
Cocks.
Think banana.
Spider shines cocks is I don't know. Either disease or what.
What word goes with all three? One word goes with.
Oh, I see. What word goes with it?
Yeah.
I see. Spider web. No, a spider. Yeah,
was my
spider
first
web. Spider.
Portia, this is just an example. Think,
I know.
banana.
I know. It's a tough one
Portia,
though.
think
I
banana.
sort of.
Banana, banana, banana.
I feel like hanging around in a tree.
Yeah, but are you trying to give a clue here?
Think Michael Jackson.
Oh,
Bubbles. Bubbles. Was his name Bubbles?
It was.
Yeah.
Bubbles was
Zoo
Bubbles.
creature.
I don't know Bubbles.
Animal.
Come on, Portia, you can do this.
Who are the
No,
animals?
I really. I mean, I know what he's talking about in terms.
What was there was a band. There was a really good band with Davy Jones and Michael Nesmith.
Hey, we're the.
Seriously?
Moisha, hey, we're the.
I think it's a culture.
Monkeys.
Did he say it?
Yes, he said.
Yay,
Monkeys. Spider monkeys. There's a spider monkey. Oh,
Yes.
I forgot that there's such a thing as but a pox monkey. What was the other word?
You're very lucky.
Monkey
You never heard of
pox.
monkeypox?
Oh, monkey pox. Yes. So in other words, it's not. So it's
This is what I deal with
monkey.
in
Monkey
school
pox. What
always.
was the other word? What was the other word?
The other word was shines. Shines.
I don't get that one.
Monkey shines. Yeah. Monkey
Oh,
shines.
Foolishness. Monkey
Oh, I
shines.
don't know
Monkey
that.
shines. Yeah. Fooling around and stuff like that.
As
Okay.
opposed to shining
Yeah,
pox.
No. Because you see, like the actual sound here doesn't come through so perfectly. So at
Yeah,
first I
my
heard
fault.
pox.
Okay.
But
But here's
okay,
the
let's
thing.
get to the reality stuff, which is the real question, Dave. The real
So
question
Vancouver,
is,
it's French. All right, here's the deal. So now you know how it works. It's blank word, word blank.
yeah.
We're looking for
So it
something.
could be before or after the
Yes.
actual word.
Yes. All right, we got it going on. David Short, Leslie Blake, where are you? No. Just kidding. Mike, you're wonderful.
Yeah, he's up earlier.
Okay, the
He's up
three
earlier than
words
anybody.
are paint, elbow,
Oh.
elbow, monkey.
Paint, elbow, monkey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know what it is.
Paint, elbow, monkey. I don't know. I could think of grease. I mean, elbow grease or elbow room, monkey. No.
Go with your gut. Go with your gut. Go with your gut.
Gut. But paint is grease paint. I say grease seems to be grease, but monkey grease, paint, grease paint, elbow grease is definitely
Just say it.
Grease. I'm going with grease. I'm going with grease. Vicki told me to say it. I'm going with grease.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Well, we've just greased the wheels for you, Moshe. Yes.
Excellent.
Well done.
Excellent.
The word was.
Thank you very much for the tutorial. That really helped.
Well, here's the first of all,
Vicki?
grease paint, elbow grease, of course, grease monkey, which is what you call someone who fixes cars. The current event was that on Wednesday, the great Greek actress Irene Pappas died at the age of 96. She was in Z and Zorba and Elektra and a whole bunch of other movies. So, one of like the first lady of Greek film, Irene Pappas passed away. So, Greece is the word. Have you heard? And have you heard? This is the word that Moshe has 2 points. Joyce has 2 points.
Yay! Vicki, thanks for the encouragement.
Come on, Vicki, it's your turn. You can do it.
Well,
no, it's your turn next, Joyce.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
So, Joyce, you
No,
can.
it's Joyce's turn next, right?
Okay.
Because you stole 2 points, Joyce.
I did, I do.
But she
I
helped
do.
you out a little bit. She was, she was
do.
trying there. She was
I'm
you said Greece once, and she's like, just stop there. Just don't think anymore.
Go with your guts.
Say the
Go with
fucking
your
word.
guts.
Say it.
I will tell you, it's the thing that bothers me the most when students or anybody take an exam and they get the right answer and they cross through and they pick another one. I hate it. I'm like, go with your instinct. Like, they get the right answer, they're like, no. I'm like,
Yeah, I get that.
I just wasn't sure Grease Monkey. That's all. I didn't
Yeah.
quite.
Oh, you Canadians. No, it's
like
when someone fixes cars.
It's somebody who you
That's right. Now I remember.
manner.
But of course, maybe it's not as common here. We have other terminologies.
Well, that's
pejorative.
But okay.
Anyhow,
Thanks for prodding.
you get stabbing people instead of shooting people. That's Canada.
Yeah, you're goddamn right. There's a horrible thing happening.
Witty rapport.
That too. All right, here we go. Joyce.
Yes.
Joyce, this question is for you. If you get it right, you take the lead.
Okay.
The year was 1683. On this date, September 17, 1683,
Okay.
or thereabouts.
Okay.
Focus on this.
Oh no.
Antony van Leeuwenhoek writes about the time he was looking at pond water and found swimmy things he called animalcules.
Oh, I know this.
Well, we call them bacteria.
Yes.
Which of these is false about bacteria?
That's so funny. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so you're on the long hook for this. Here
I
we
don't
go.
like this false. It should be the affirmative, not the negative. Okay, go ahead.
A,
Mm-hmm.
you think ants are strong? A gonorrhea bacteria can lift 100,000 times its own weight. B, if a horse ran as fast as bacteria swim, it would go 135 miles per hour. C, Australian scientists found bacteria that can take dissolved gold and turn it back into solid gold nuggets. Or D, in 2006, scientists at a South African gold mine found absolutely zero presence of bacteria, which they credited to the energy given off by radioactive rocks. One of these is false. Yeah.
I want to pick I wanted to pick the one about bacteria don't swim quick. But then I also want to pick the alchemist one that you can't convert. The whole thing of the plague doctors and all the alchemists where they wanted to reconstitute gold. So I don't think you can reconstitute gold. Okay, I really want to, let me just pick the swimming one. They don't swim as fast.
So you're saying if a horse ran as fast as
Mhm.
bacteria swim, it would go 135 miles an hour.
Oh, no, that is false.
Well, you're looking for what's
Saying
false.
that that's false.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that one. I think it might be the alchemy one. It might be the alchemy one, but...
Wait. All of these are true except one. I want to make sure you're...
yes.
Yeah.
But I think...
Don't overthink it, Joyce.
Yeah,
Don't overthink it.
I'll pick the horse one. I'll pick the horse.
It's turning into a group psychology session. Okay.
Let's dispense with any idea that this is a real quiz
It's
right here and now.
better than therapy.
All right, the horse one.
Yeah, because the alchemy one would be my runner-up. Yeah, horse one.
Well, to quote a horse, I'm afraid the answer is nay.
Oh, it's the alchemy one. I
Well,
bet you.
maybe.
I bet you it's the alchemy.
Maybe,
Yeah.
possibly. We
It's
have a...
alchemy. It's gotta be alchemy.
I'm going to roll the die. 4, 2... What? This thing doesn't like 6. You're 6, right?
Yeah.
No.
You need a one.
Does this ever do
You
odd
need a
numbers?
one or-
1? Oh, who's 1?
Well,
Somebody's 1.
Vicki.
Vicki.
Oh, Vicki is one.
Go,
Yeah.
Well, I
Vicki.
might as well say the alchemy one then.
Is that your...
Joyce is right. Okay.
Australian scientists found bacteria that can take dissolved gold and turn it back into solid gold nuggets. You're saying that is not true.
I'm guessing it's not true.
Well, Vicki, Joyce, here's a little nugget of information.
It's
You're
true.
wrong.
Oh, crap.
It was true. I
Because it doesn't
feared
turn
that.
something else into gold. You're turning
Come on, Moshe, you can do this. You only got
Okay,
two.
You know what?
thanks so much for the encouragement. I have a 50-50 chance. Now, what are the two that are left are the radioactive rocks
And
that
gonorrhea.
killed all the bacteria. And what's the first one?
And gonorrhea, which you obviously know so much about. So,
It's gotta be gonorrhea. It's gotta be gonorrhea.
You're the one with the adulting shirt.
Okay, can you read those last two?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, those two lessons.
So
Yeah.
your choices are, which of these is false about bacteria?
It's gonorrhea.
Yeah.
A, you think ants are strong? A gonorrhea bacteria can lift 100,000 times its own weight. Or
100,000.
100,000 times its own weight, maybe, maybe not. Or D, in 2006, scientists at a South African gold mine found absolutely zero presence of bacteria, which they credited to the energy given off by radioactive rocks.
I think gonorrhea for you, Moshe.
You know, I'm going to go with the gonorrhea thing. Yeah.
Again?
I'm going to say that that's the false one. I tend to agree. Well, Vicki happened to be
It's just
prodding
a
me, but
group
the truth
quiz
is,
at this point.
I think that radioactive rock somewhere will kill all the bacteria in the vicinity.
Why
So
not?
I'm not sure that thing actually happened, because then what would happen to the miners, that they would actually get killed by the radioactivity. But never mind, they discovered it and there was no bacteria there. I'm going with gonorrhea. It's false that that they can lift 100,000 times their weight.
They don't
Who
even
made
have
it?
hands. How can they lift without hands?
How can they do? They're just gonorrheas.
Well, how ants live? Oh, okay, but so that's your final answer about gonorrhea.
Yeah, I'm going with the gonorrhea bacteria.
Well, we have such stiff competition here. Final answer.
Yeah.
Gonorrhea, the clap.
I'm clapping for myself because I have stumped the panel.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's the last one.
You're kidding me.
this is absolutely.
Whoa.
It is true that the bacteria, can reconstitute gold nuggets. It's true about the horse. It's true that gonorrhea can lift 100,000 pounds.
It must go to the
times.
gym. It must go to the
It
gym.
does, yeah. But here's the deal. In 2000, the true thing is that those Australian scientists found in a gold mine bacteria that seemed to live entirely off of the radioactivity,
Whoa.
which is creepy as hell.
Here, wait, we got
So when you
Oh boy.
destroys itself, bacteria, will still be around. Ooh.
It's like Star Trek.
Yeah. So
Twilight Zone, Vicki.
Yes.
That's right.
So in
The voice of Rod Serling.
we're
All
gonna
right, so we all missed it. How do you like that?
It happens. I work on these.
I think it's all that we're sleep deprived. I think that's
true.
part of the.
Me more than right. But here's the deal. You're watching Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, our wonderful friends Vicki, Quade, Moshe Denberg, and my wonderful wife Joyce on this Saturday, September 17th, 2022. It's just getting almost on 11 o'clock in the morning. We're playing the Today, Yesterday trivia quiz. And so far, we have Moshe with 2 points, Joyce with 2 points. Vicki, not yet on the board, but this next question will go to you, Vicki.
That's right.
Oh,
Is it 3 clues in the news?
No, it's not. We started, we tried something new last week, and we're going to do it again. This was a brand, we had this is new for Vicki.
It was new for me because I was I was somewhere. Oh, I forget. I was doing something last week.
This is called Change One Letter.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to come up with the answer to a question for 1 point. And then you're going to change one letter in the word to get the other word that we want. You can write it down.
I'm going to get a piece of paper so I can write it down.
She's not even going to write it. She doesn't like licking her finger. So here's the deal.
God.
I'll give you an example. And it's also, we try to do it in poetry form. So this is a sample, doesn't count, for everyone to try in terms of what we call change one letter.
I'd love to know what Joyce said about this.
It holds any picture you've got, change one letter and it's hot.
Well, frame.
What's hot, Vicki? Don't get burned
Change
by the.
one letter.
Don't get burned by the.
Flame. Oh, I see. Change one letter. Don't change what letters within, just change one letter. Got it.
You count one letter for another. So that was well done, Vicki. And well done. I saw Moshe. You were going. So
Well, Joyce, you prompted her. Okay, that's fine. You prompted me too.
This is just practice.
all fair. Oh, this was just practice.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
this
is
was a
practice.
practice.
Here
That was
comes
just
the
a
real
practice
one.
one.
This
Okay,
is
here's
the
the
one
real
Oh,
one.
now we're going to the real 2-pointer. Okay.
Now I understand. Okay,
And
go
it
ahead.
has to do with something. This one actually is a historical thing that happened today.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
Are you ready for your poem,
Oh
Vicki?
God.
I am.
Okay. I'll just say the year was 1941.
Okay.
See if you can rack your brain about this meeting between a German and a Dane. Change one scientist's name, and if you're astute, you'll come up with a lout, an oaf, and a brute.
Oh my God. A meeting in 1941 between a Dane
And a German.
and a German and scientists. Hmm.
Oh.
God, I'm trying to remember names. German scientists. And change one letter.
Right.
And it could be a lout, a brute, or something else.
Or an oaf.
An oaf. Okay. Oh my goodness. Think about it, Moshe, because you're going to be able to steal.
I think,
Okay.
I think I've got something. I'm not sure, but it seems to me that I have something that in my head. So I'm trying to communicate it to you now, Vicki.
Still. Okay. A Dane and a German. Now, okay. A Dane and a German scientist. So I'm thinking Einstein.
Walk into a bar. Yeah.
Who, Einstein could be one of them. Robert, whatever his name is. That's the thing is I'm forgetting last names of famous scientists. A Danish scientist could be something. In 1941, so it's during the war.
Yeah, but they're outside of Germany, I think, because if it's Einstein, he's already in 33.
He's here.
Went to Princeton in 33, but they met a Dane scientist. Doesn't
Well,
mean
it doesn't say they're in Germany, so it could be.
No, it could be anywhere. It's just the science. You're right. I mean, you're talking about Einstein. I'm just saying, get away from Germany, get away from Europe. It doesn't matter where they met.
Right.
I'm just saying you have to think of the names. I mean, I'm not sure of my answer, but I do have something in mind.
Okay, I can't think of it because I can't think of the names. I'm racking my brains for names of scientists, and I can think of first names, and I can't think of last.
You could also promote your upcoming show for Halloween.
So your answer would be?
Holy Ghost Bingo.
Wow. Holy Ghost Bingo.
Goblins.
Holy Ghost Bingo. That's a riot. That's a great name.
It's a lot of fun. It's a really good show.
Might be scary.
I wish I could be there, Vicki.
So, rolling the die. Oh, finally an odd number, but it's number 3, Moshe.
Oh, okay. So I came up with the name Bohr, B-O-H-R, and it becomes Boer, B-O-O-R.
So is that your final answer?
I had the first part, but I couldn't convert it to the second. Yeah.
And the place if you know the play Copenhagen, it took place in Copenhagen. They met.
Oh, it did take place in Copenhagen, huh?
Yeah. So.
And who was the other side? Was the other scientist Einstein talking to him?
No, it was Werner Heisenberg.
Heisenberg. Okay, from the Heisenberg principle, Niels Bohr, and Boer. That's what I thought of right away.
Let's change one letter in Heisenberg and see if we can come up with
Helgenberg. There you go.
That's a harder one, Vicki.
Well, Moshe, you are 4 points on it. Well done, by the way.
Yay! I'm on a roll.
Yay! And if you would get to read a chance to read the play, or they filmed it, a really good movie.
Oh, we saw the film. It was excellent.
What was it called? What was it called?
It was called Copenhagen.
But it's a bit they do some narrative, like the characters do over narrative, and it shows a lot of the insecurities and the struggles that they had as individual people during that time and in their relationships. It's very good.
Yeah, it's a wonderful,
very well
wonderful.
And what were they speaking about anything in particular? Did it have anything to do with Manhattan Project or anything like that?
Oh well, that was. I don't want to give too much away, but they're meeting as scientists.
Yes.
But the Danish one doesn't want to give away too much to Heisenberg, who is really a functionary of the Nazi Party.
Oh,
But
he's still living. He's still living in Germany.
well, yeah. He's
It's 41.
party. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a
Interesting.
marvelous
It
play.
was very well done. It's a lot of.
I'd like to see that. It's contemporary. In other words, it's out in the theaters now. type of
Oh
thing,
no,
or
no,
they-
no, no. It's about 15.
Did we see it on YouTube or?
Yeah,
on-
we watched a version. It was either on Netflix or we found it on Canopy or
Well,
something.
thanks for telling me about it. If I see it on Netflix, I definitely will
Either
watch it. That's something I like it very, very
It's
much.
really, really good.
Who are the sexy actors playing those scientists?
You remember?
Um,
And it's a 3-person movie, just like the play. It's the 2 scientists and the wife.
I remember
of,
the wife. Like it was very strange. I'm gonna look it
Yeah,
up.
Joyce is actually going to look up who was
My
in.
Dinner with Heidelberg was a they thought about having it that name, but
I
it didn't go
feel
over.
like it was. I think it was Daniel Craig was in there as one of the.
Danny Craig, wow.
I believe so.
Well-
Was it oh no, this is another thing.
Portia, did you say Danny Craig?
Danny.
Yeah.
Daniel.
When was it done? When was it
Daniel
done?
Craig.
Would have been in the past 10,
So
15 years.
2002?
maybe.
He's an old buddy of mine from Palmatora. You know,
Yeah.
Danny Craig. Actually, he's married to a good Jewish lady, Rachel Weisz.
Well, was it Rachel Weisz?
It's giving me the film synopsis.
I think he's
No.
married to Rachel Weisz.
Daniel Craig
So-
is married to Rachel Weisz. Yeah.
Yeah, he's married to Rachel Weisz, and he's done a lot of kind of Holocaust thing. He did Munich, you know, he did a whole bunch of stuff. He's actually a very popular character in Jewish themed roles.
I guess somehow he bonded to them.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay.
Trying to
No
get
kidding.
fast.
He's got a lot of Jewish relatives now.
It was Daniel Craig.
Stephen Ray.
Oh, Stephen Ray. Yeah,
and
yeah.
then Francesca Annis.
Oh, Francesca Annis. Oh, from she was doing TV and movies like in the 70s
It was
and
in
80s.
2002.
I didn't realize it was 20 years old.
20 years.
It's very
So
good.
thank you, dear.
It's very good.
So here's the deal. We have our next question in the second and final round of our yesterday quiz. And this one, here's the deal. This goes directly to Moshe. So Moshe, if you get this, you kind of put the game away.
Amazon Prime.
I put the game away. He
Well,
put the game away. He put the game away. Yeah.
All right, children. All right, here we go. And you're going to love I don't know if you're going to love the whole question, but you're certainly going to love the setup of this one, Moshe. This is right up your alley. The year
Okay.
was 1951. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Mazel Tov. Opening on Broadway at the Royale Theater. After a long run in Los Angeles, it's Borscht Capades.
That's a riot. I think I remember hearing.
Directed by
Go ahead. Sorry. It's Borscht-Capades. Go ahead.
Directed by and starring Mickey Katz and featuring his son, Joel Grey, in his Broadway debut. Speaking of borscht, which of these is false about beets?
Oh,
I told you like the first part.
I love the setup, Dave. The setup was brilliant.
Thank you so much. Here we go. One of these is false. A, because of their high sugar content, beets are more likely than any other vegetable besides garlic and onion to cause bad breath. B, if you boil beets and rub the juice into your hair, it'll help stop dandruff. C, Albert Einstein hated beets. Or D, in ancient Greece, the Greeks ate only the leaves, not the roots.
oh,
So which one of those is false?
False. All of them are true except one.
All of them are true except one. Okay, let's review this. The first one was about that beets can actually give you bad breath because there's a high sugar content, except for garlic and what did you say, onions or something like that. And then the second was about just a second. What was the second one, Dave?
If you boil beets and rub
Yeah.
the juice into your hair,
Yeah.
it'll stop dandruff. Yeah.
It stops dandruff. You can get beets in your hair, it stops dandruff. It might have an ingredient there. The third one was, remind me?
Was Albert Einstein. By
Oh,
serendipity,
Einstein
you're
hated
talking about-
beets.
Yeah.
Einstein hated beets. How would you know whether he hated beets or didn't hate beets? Okay, anyway, and the fourth one is the what was it, Dave? Remind
In
me.
ancient Greece, we talked about the Greeks before.
Yeah.
The Greeks
Oh, yeah.
ate only the leaves, not the roots.
Okay, I'm gonna go that it's false that Einstein hated beets. I'm gonna say he didn't hate beets. because there's nothing there that has any kind of probative value. Einstein either liked beets or he didn't like beets. He hated beets. How the hell would I know that? It's false. It's a red herring.
Is that your final answer?
I'm afraid so, yes.
Well, Moshe Denberg, I have you beat because it was true. Einstein was almost phobic about the shape and the taste of beets. He just apparently really
He didn't mind dating and marrying his family members.
yeah. He was a crazy man. So
he was eccentric, but that aspect of his eccentricism I never heard of. Never heard of.
Well, yeah, I don't think it made like the shorter biographies of him. I'm going to die again. 2, 5. Somebody have a 5? No, nobody has a 5. 6, Joyce.
Oh crap! Okay, I'm teetering between 2. I don't think beets make your breath smell bad.
Yeah, I also thought maybe not. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also don't think I don't know what property in a beet, if you wash your hair with them, I think it would be more of a dye than it would be an
I think of a dye. That's right.
It's a hard thing. I'll pick the first one, though I think it's wrong. I'm gonna say that beets, I've eaten beets and I don't recall them being like an onion or like another root vegetable. So I'll say
they don't give you bad breath.
It's false.
I don't think I agree. I don't think they give you bad breath.
That's the second one I go for. Yeah, I go for that, Joyce. Yeah, I'm with you.
Is that your final answer?
Yep. I'm gonna stop it at that. Yeah.
Well, Joyce, everyone, if you've been holding your breath, you can exhale. And it won't smell.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah! Joyce gets 2 points.
Or
tied for the lead now.
Yeah, we're tied. Joyce and I are tied.
I'm more curious as to why does it?
Well, here's actually
Wouldn't it make your scalp red? I mean, what's
Well, no, people used to use it as a hair. In ancient times, they used beets for a dye to dye their hair and stuff.
But why would it?
But apparently there's something in there that makes it moist. That's good for the scalp.
Maybe the scalp. That's right. Okay.
And go figure. I did not know, because of the nitrates in beets. You can eat beets or beet juice, and that helps you get rid of garlic breath.
Whoa.
So sort of the opposite. It actually helps you.
What was the fourth one? The fourth choice?
Back in the day, the Greeks didn't eat the bulby thing. That's the good part.
Yeah, they perhaps they didn't like the bulb, and they had to go through a whole rigmarole to cook it and then make it tender. So
That's true.
And when you put the bulb into a socket, you get maybe 8 watts, 10 watts at most.
That's it. No, maximum 8.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's unbeatable, but Thank you so much. So here's the deal. This is very exciting now. I'm personally excited.
I have to get a pen.
Joyce could win with this.
Oy vey. I have to get my.
We have a tie game between Moshe and Joyce. Vicki,
Moshe.
Why don't you say Moshe? You say Moshe, right?
You're right. No, it's okay. But Joyce, I have to tell you that my childhood friends, they used to call me Moshe, the Ashkenazi pronunciation, right? Pronunciation, which is totally legitimate, though. My given name is Moshe, and that's true. So you could call me Moshe, and Dave, you can continue calling me Moshe, and Vicki, you could choose.
Well, one of my friends had the same name, and my friend called him Moshe.
Moshe is a little bit that I don't care for so much.
Michael? I mean, is Moshe Michael?
No, you see, generally speaking, I don't know whether we have so much time, but I'll do it very quickly. Generally speaking, every Jewish person is given 2 names, an English name and a Hebrew name for ritual purposes, right? I was only given one. It's Moshe. It's supposed to work for both. But a lot of people who are Michael, they would be Michael, Micha or something like that in Hebrew, but some were given the name Moshe. In Hebrew, their Hebrew name. The same with Mark could be Moshe. Morris could be Moshe. People who are called Mo are usually Moshe in their Hebrew name. But I only have one name, and that's Moshe.
There's Stooges too,
And as a Bible person, Vicki, you would know that Moshe was Moses in the Bible. That was Moses' name.
Yeah, that's Moses' name. Moshe is in the Hebrew Bible. Moses is Moshe. Yeah.
Moshe.
Moshe, call me Moshe.
Joyce had a wonderful idea. Can you, because Joyce has a Hebrew name. Can I give it? Her Hebrew name is Aliza, which means happiness and stuff like that.
Yeah, Joyce, joy. Yeah, beautiful.
Can we give Vicki a Hebrew name? You would know names better than I would. Can you think about a Hebrew name for Vicki?
Yeah.
Well, my legal name is Victoria, so you know.
Well,
yeah, well, I on the spur of the moment, of course, I could think of a few things. Like Victoria has the idea of victory in it or something. So how about, I don't know whether this is a name that's much in use, but for example, it's also a name that would mean victory, joy, and it would be Tsahala.
Oh, nice word.
Tsahala, I mean, Tsahala is sort of joy, victorious joy, Tsahala. So Tsahala. Tsahala, which I would spell T-S-A-A-L, no, sorry, T-S-A-H-A-L-A, Tsahala. And the accent should be on the la. Sahala.
I like that. Sahala.
So the accent's on the la.
Sahala. Yeah, well, yeah, actually, as a name it would be Sahala.
That's beautiful.
Wow.
Sahala.
Beautiful.
But I don't know whether they're names like that. But if we're going to give you an original Hebrew name, there you go. Sahala.
There you go. I can only use it 0.4% of the time, though. You know.
All right. Well,
I didn't get it. It went over my head.
My DNA showed me that 0.4%.
Oh, you got 0.4%. I was 100% in North European Ashkenazi. I was so disappointed when I did my.
Wait. Was it 0.4% or 4%, Vicki?
0.4%.
Oh my God.
Hey, it's
like
there.
a nostril.
This earlobe right here.
Yeah. All right. So, but this is very important. This
is
serious,
the writing question?
Serious business now. This is the final question of the third round, and it goes to Joyce, who is tied for the lead.
Boy.
If she gets
No pressure.
she wins, and we still do the tiebreaker.
Why is she getting the question?
Because she's the third one.
Oh, that's it. I went just before. That's the reason.
Yeah.
You know what, Vicki? That was very logical.
Yes. Also because she's my wife and I get to shtup her once in a while.
Oh, well, that's important too.
So I got to favor her. But here's the answer.
I just want to go to Best Buy. That's my Big Lots. That's the only thing.
All right, here we go, hon.
Yeah.
We have 3 clues in the news.
Oh no!
Just for you.
The worst.
No.
Just for yous. 3 clues in the news for yous.
Moshe, you could.
For yous, Jews.
Huh? Oh, I missed it.
I said 3 clues in the news for yous, Jews.
Can't lose. All right, here we go. Joyce, or I'm sorry, Aliza.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here, you know how the 3 clues in the news works.
I do.
3 words connected to another word, something in the news. All right, okay.
It's either hit or miss. Go ahead.
The words are bad, mint, babies.
The only thing I can think of is condition. I'm going to say condition. I can't think. That's it.
Wait. Think it through. Think it through. Don't do it so fast. You're the winner here if you get this.
We're looking at what's the answer is the piece in the news. It's the actual thing in the news.
It has something to do with something in the news this past week.
Yeah, come on, Joyce. Bad, mint.
Oh, I know what it is. Thank you, Vicki. Breath. It's breath. I'm going to change to breath. Vicki, when she said bad, I got breath. So hopefully.
Got it.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Vicki, you literally just gave the game to my wife.
Trying to help her,
I've got to live with her the rest of the day now.
Connected. It's a woman thing. It's female empowerment.
Yeah.
No, condition.
So what's
good for 2 of them? Bad condition, mint condition.
Yeah, but then when she said bad, I thought of the mint. You know what? I thought of the beat. The beat that cures bad breath. I thought it's got to be breath. It's the breath.
All right, so let me throw this for no points. Anybody, why was breath in the news this week?
Breath.
breath?
Oh. Maybe the Queen. When did the Queen die?
Like
No,
a
the Queen.
you know,
No.
she's
She
mourning.
lost her breath.
She's already been dead a long time.
Yeah.
Breath.
That is a really good embalming process because she's
I hope
not
so.
buried until the 19th.
But she had no,
Oh,
she had no guts left. I mean, she was probably a rail,
Ah.
so it was like, 2 drops of fluid. Oh, she's good. You know.
Oh.
But why in the news? Breath.
Breath. What was breath about? I'm trying to remember. I sort of follow the news, but you know,
Is that a movie? Breathless?
breath.
Oh, Jean-Luc.
Oh yes.
Yeah, Breathless.
What?
Thank
You
you.
got it. Jean-Luc Godard passed away. Speaking of Semites, passed away at the age of 91. His first, the movie that put him on the map, his first full-length movie was called Breathless. It remains a touchstone of European New Wave cinema. And you know, so
I wouldn't have known that. I'm not au courant.
Didn't he do Weekend at Bernie's?
yeah, it was all one long car crash with all
Tell me,
these.
No. He
Jean-Luc
did
Godard. Did Jean-Luc Godard live in the United States and make American movies, type of thing? Or
Which
He
he was
used
French.
some American actors. He used Jane Fonda at one point. Mostly used
Oh.
French people. I think in Alphaville he used an American like noir
lead.
actor, but I forget who it was. But no, mainly he stayed and he used. And he made a movie about and with the Rolling Stones. So he went far afield, and then he became really, really anti-Zionist. So fuck him, he's dead.
Oh, did he become anti-Zionist in his old age or something like that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so screw him.
Yes, love the Jews. There we go. The thing was, he'd say things where he was a deliberate contrarian just to say them, but he was also really, really, to the ridiculous point, pro-Palestinian and anti-Israel. So
Well, he was mean-spirited. Yeah, well, ridiculous. Okay, anyways, we don't have to live with him anymore because he's breathless now.
yeah, exactly. But what we do have is a tiebreaker that won't mean anything because Joyce just won the game, but we're still going to play.
Give me your pen. I want to
Oh, yeah,
try
yeah,
it.
you can do the
a
tiebreaker.
piece of paper, Moise.
But she won the tiebreaker. Just a second.
No. She won the
The
game.
tiebreaker doesn't, it's not really a tiebreaker
She won
because
the
the
game.
game is over
Oh.
and Joyce won. But I want to say this.
Yes.
Joyce won with Quade assist.
Yes, I did.
Oh, that's true. But Joyce helped one or two of you get a question earlier in the game. I think
It would not be me because I
Not me. Not me. I didn't receive any help whatsoever.
Really? I believe I helped you. Come
You
on.
did.
Okay,
You were,
what's her name?
you know, there should be an award
Dr.
for the best
Dr.
helper.
Seuss. Stop being Dr.
No, that's right.
Sue.
Vicky did help you. She was like, "Don't overthink it. Just say it. Just say it."
Dr. Sue, let's not do that now.
Yeah, the grease. No. It was don't overthink it. Yeah, with the grease or something. Anyways, I got it. But thank you, Vicky. I think we both have to thank you, Vicky. That I came second. Thank you. That Joyce came first. She said thank you.
So we have one more question in our today yesterday quiz live on Saturday, September 17th. So here it is. This is not a multiple choice. You're going to write down the answer, and then Joyce will hold it up to me. So I'll say, and you'll
I'll
hold
give
it up
mine
to the
so you
screen.
can show it.
Oh yeah, she'll hand it to me, and I'll put it to the screen. We're not cheating here in any way, shape, or form.
No, I believe you.
So the year was 1883. Born today in Rutherford, New Jersey, is this poet and physician best known for such modernist works as The Red Wheelbarrow and By the Road to the Contagious Hospital. Name that poet, who was also strongly influenced by modern painters, including his friends Marsden Hartley and Charles Demuth.
A poet, doctor
Yes.
from the born where?
Rutherford, New Jersey.
Rutherford, New
Favorite
Jersey. A
classic,
poet, doctor.
The New Jersey question.
And he was born in 1883.
Correct.
Well, now we don't know if it's a he.
Ah,
Well, that's true. In that day and age, it was usually a he.
And I did, to be fair, I do have in the question, who was also strongly influenced by modern painters, including his friends, Marsden Hartley and Charles Demuth.
So it is.
Charles Hartley?
Wow.
A male poet born in,
1883.
wow.
Do we need to get both of the names or just the last name is enough?
If you get the last name, well, I mean, there's no points anyway. So if you even get the last name,
That's sufficient, yeah.
yeah. In fact, if you get the last name, you will be getting more than you think you're getting. That's a hint.
Oh, boy.
I know it's a good hint. I just don't get it.
When you do, you'll be like, oh.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I can't think of anyone who I know that is a doctor and a poet. Just can't think of someone like that. Hold on a second.
I'm blanking. Can't do it. Isn't gonna work.
Well, if you don't know it, you can also write down your website or your.
Okay, well, you're not allowed to cheat. You're not allowed to use your iPhone and look for it.
You just gotta write something, but it can be gunsforfun.com or pick a poet.
Yeah, it could be Simis with Simis.com.
Net, Simis.net.
.net, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put down, I don't even know whether he was. Okay.
Okay, Moshe.
Should I show you my?
Yeah, don't show it.
Yeah, not till we do 3, 2, 1.
So here's the deal. I'm going to read the question again. I'm going to give a 3, 2, 1. She just handed me her answer early. She got right to it. So, are you guys ready for the question? I'll give a 3, 2, 1 and the answer. 1883 was the year. On September 17th, born today in Rutherford, New Jersey, is this poet and physician best known for such modernist works as The Red Wheelbarrow and By the Road to the Contagious Hospital. Okay, and I can mention that most of those letters there are small. Name that poet who was also strongly influenced by modern painters, including his friends Marsden Hartley and Charles de Muth. 3, 2, 1.
Was it E.E. Cummings? Jeez. Sounds like E.E. Cummings with all the small letters.
E. Cummings, that's what my wife made for me. That's she didn't guess that.
That's beautiful.
E.
What
Cummings,
did you see?
I can't read
I
yours.
put Thoreau.
Henry, it's not Henry David Thoreau. Who?
I was thinking E.E. Cummings, but I put Happy Birthday, David, my son, because yesterday was his birthday.
Oh, Mazel Tov, Mazel, McGlick, yay! I remember reading The Red Wheelbarrow back in like junior high school or high school, so that's the only way I would have even remembered this. But the person that we're looking for, so nice, they had to name him twice, William Carlos Williams.
Oh.
I really don't know him. Yep,
Oh, okay.
I must say.
And he was a doctor for, even throughout his career, he was a doctor, but he also became famous for poetry.
Very interesting. Did Joyce get it?
No, she got, this was literally Joyce's, this was her.
Oh, isn't that lovely? Joyce, you're an artist.
Yeah, and she loves me. Look at that.
I like to do the doodling.
Dave, that you have to frame that. You got to frame it.
I think so. I mean, look how pretty she did the heart.
No, it's definitely lovely. It's definitely lovely.
It's fuzzy. It's literally, she's thinking of my pubes while she's drawing this.
No.
You know what? You got a really good relationship going. I think Dr. Ruth would be very proud of you.
She would make $10 million off of us if we were sitting on her couch. I'm telling
Who was born in 1883, right?
Oh yeah,
she's still
right.
God bless her. Yeah.
He's still alive?
Yes. I'll check. Unless she died last week.
Did you ever have her as a guest?
I always wanted to, but no.
Ruth, Dr. Ruth, she's fantastic. She's still alive, but she's not as active, sort of in the going about these days. But what a personality! I love the woman.
She was great.
It's been about 2 years since she ran her last marathon. She's 94, but thank God,
she is
Holocaust survivor, quite an amazing lady. So.
Is she a call? Yeah. I think I remember reading about that too. Yeah.
Our friend just texted. He's actually in a regatta in Annapolis.
Wow.
I mean, for reals.
We're in Maryland.
Yeah.
What can I tell you? We actually have a friend who is crewing, or whatever the hell they do in a regatta, in a boat. Yeah. These are, we don't live like this.
No, these are our friends who are more bougie.
I'm eating SpaghettiOs off the floor, but these guys, they're in a regatta. Actually, I'm not. we're fine. But ladies and gentlemen, we've had fun playing the
Yeah.
today, yesterday trivia quiz.
And congrats to Joyce.
Thank you.
Queen
thank
Joyce.
you.
Props to Joyce.
Yep.
And I want to say before you sign us off, Dave,
Yeah.
a Shana Tova to everyone, a happy Jewish New Year, and to you too, Tzahala.
Thank you.
Sahala. Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
is it Sahala? Because I wrote down, Sahala, that's right.
Yeah.
Tzahala, with
T-S-A-H-A-L-A.
Tzahala,
It's like
H-A-L-A.
masala.
And
I have it written down.
Tzahala.
My new
It's actually in Hebrew, the actual accenting is Tzahala, but it sounds better for a Jewish name if we're going to make it into that Tzahala. And Tzahala.
name.
Tzahala.
Now, Moshe.
At any rate, Vicki, if you want it to stick, you got it. I just plucked it out of the
I'm
air.
using it.
I love it.
Good.
So,
Yeah.
Moshe, I do want to ask you, is there new music people can buy, older music? Are you playing anywhere the band?
Actually, what we have on our Bandcamp page is we put out a complete remix of our debut album, which went all over the United States and Canada, and it was reviewed on NPR's All Things Considered back in 1993. In fact, the date was very easy to remember. November 22nd, 1993 was the 30th anniversary of the assassination of President Kennedy. It's a good one for your yesterday, tomorrow. But what I want to say is the original album was called Sweet and Hot. Tim is Sweet and Hot, but we had old technology and it was like on reel to reels. And talk about New Jersey. There was a facility in New Jersey who took my 28-year-old reels and transferred them to digital, and we did a beautiful new remix. A beautiful new remix, and it's called Sweeter and Hotter.
Oh, lovely.
Great.
And if you look up, well, you'd have to look at Bandcamp and look up Timus. Just spell Timus the way we do. It's just T-Z, as in United States, Z, not Z, as if you're Canadian, it's Z. T-Z-I-M-M-E-S. And you look at Bandcamp, Timus, and you will find not only our album that we actually got together on, Dave, which is The Road Never Traveled, our most recent, but you'll find Sweeter and Hotter, and you will love the remix of these things, whether you heard Sweet and Hot or not.
Wow.
That's what I have to say
Are you
about
sweet and hot or not? There you are. Yeah, well, certainly it is sweet to have the hot musician, Moshe Denberg, in the Daverhood, along with Vicki Quade. So, Vicki, this weekend, if people want to see Bible Bingo or you have to hold
Late Night Catechism, because we have them both at the Greenhouse Theater Center in Chicago. So you can catch them there and go online or call 773-404-7336.
Oh, say it again, please. I missed that.
773-404-7336.
And let's make believe this is old-fashioned radio. Say it one more time.
Well, actually, what I really would love to do is say that I am booking all my shows around the country and around the world, really. I used to do a lot of worldwide stuff. And I'm picking up a lot of bookings, so I may be out in your areas.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll let you know when I'm out there.
And
you're in Vancouver?
Give us a
I'm going to be out in California. That's not too far from Vancouver.
No, you have to come up the coast. Yeah.
I'm going to be in Maryland. That's not too far from New York.
Wait, we're in Maryland. We're
in Maryland. Okay, good. I'll let you know when I'm there.
Yeah.
I'll send you the info.
And of course, Joyce, the victor in our game, and is also happen to be married to her. So I want to thank all of you for being wonderful friends in the Daverhood. A shout out to when is Rosh Hashanah, Moshe?
Rosh Hashanah starts next Sunday night. In other words, the 25th at night is the eve of Rosh Hashanah, and then the 26th and 27th are Rosh Hashanah proper.
So I'm going to dip my apples right in the honey of your. Oh, I got nothing. I was trying.
No, the honey of your friendship.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I will leave it right there. That was wonderful.
This man is a writer.
Moshe and Tzahala and Aliza, thank you so much for joining us. Start waving holiday New Year kisses, and we'll see you all soon. Have a good
Thanks for having us, Dave.
Of course.
Oh, wait. Let me do one quick picture. I can do a quick picture. Hold on.
Okay, Vicki.
Everyone look. All right.
A picture of us. So I thought you were going to show us a picture.
Yeah, no.
I'm looking at deer in headlights there.
One more. Smile. Look at the. All right. I'm going to send that to you.
Please.
Yeah, send it to us.
Does
Yeah.
this every week. I love it. Thank you, Vicki.
All right.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.
Shalom, everyone.
If you were there. And, of course, also, Moshe, so great to see you. And happy holidays.
Take care. Take care.
All right, we are in the Daverhood with the 806. Oh, my arm hurts! The 864th episode of Dave's Gone By. We're live on this Saturday, September 17th, 2022. We've been calling this one what do we call it? The Barn Boat, because we had wonderful guests, Hal Linden from Barney Miller and the Love Boat's Bernie Kopell, but we still have more to do on the show. You know, we go from 9 until noonish every week, pretty much, here in the Daverhood. For more about the show, go to davesgoneby.com, DAVESGONE, by.com, davesgoneby.com. You can also find our archives at our channel on archive.org. Just look for Dave's Gone By there. You will find our audio archives as MP3s, as downloadable podcasts at the podcasting platform Castbox. Is it net or FM? Castbox.
I
What is
always
it?
say FM, I think. I remember
Yeah,
thinking.
Castbox.fm.
I think it's
I
an
blanked.
FM station.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always think of it like an FM radio station.
Castbox.fm. We have a channel there too, but it's just the audio. But it does go back to our very first episode all the way to last week, and then in a couple of days, this week's will be on too. We have a YouTube page, Dave's Gone By, and of course since we've been on Facebook and doing these shows, the shows have been archived right here on this Facebook page. It's just kind of a pain to load and keep going back and back and back. Best place really to watch the show is still davesgoneby.com. And we thank everybody for tuning in, for telling people about the show, for having a great time, for writing to me, davesgoneby@aol.com, or for posting right here on the Facebook page. Well, we still have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. We still have a new Wretched Pun of Destiny. And we haven't even done the criminality portion of the program, the portion that comes from the weekly newspaper in Greeley, Colorado, the Greeley Tribune, where once a week there are 2 columns in the paper that are intentionally humorous, even though they're based completely on fact. One of them is called 100 Years Ago, where our friend of the neighborhood, Mike Peters, who has worked for the Tribune for decades, he goes through the newspapers from literally 100 years ago, from the fall or late summer of 1922, and he plucks out interesting, nostalgic, goofy things that were quite literally published in the newspaper that year, right then. And he shares the ones that we look at and we go, well, isn't that cute? Or, oh my God, how weird were people 10 decades ago? We mix those up with another column in the Greeley Tribune that has to do with phone calls, real phone calls, that come into the Greeley and Northern Colorado Police Department of people saying, oh boy, there's something weird going on in the neighborhood, please send a cop. And we're not talking about the real scary shooting, stabbing, drug things, meth labs. No, it's more, well, you'll find out as we do Greeley Crimes and, let me get to my iTunes, or whatever they call iTunes now, Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Freely indeed we. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Greeley Crimes at Old Times. So,
I just needed.
oh, of course, are you ready for some criminal activity, my darling? Oh, sounds like you are. So these are recent. This is from a week or 2 or 3 ago in Northern Colorado. Calls that come into the police department. A caller on 11th Avenue said a man was cutting his hair in front of the entrance to a convenience store I know. Do you call? I mean, it's not quite normal activity, but
It was convenient.
oh, okay. I guess you're right. She got it. This is your day. You just won
Do you want the
game.
tea?
Yeah, I'll have a sip of tea,
It's
please. Thank you.
I can take it back up front here.
And you know, it was such a weird thing that he was cutting his hair in front of the store that the store owner started selling tickets. But guess who all made all the money? Scalpers.
Oh God.
Thank you very much. I'm not proud. I make these jokes, but I'm not proud of them. A man on 11th Street said he heard his upstairs neighbors scream, quote, "I think he is dead. Wake up."
Oh God. Oh my God.
I probably would call the cops in that particular instance. That is an instance when I might, if I knew I wasn't asleep and dreaming it, I might just kind of say, yeah, let's call the police on that one. A man on 15th Street was so concerned for his family's safety. Oh, he was, sorry, I shouldn't have put the so in there. He was concerned for his family's safety after someone left a $20 bill on his porch. I should only be so worried. I want to be panicked. Somebody leave a $100 bill on the porch and let me be nervous, like, ooh.
It was probably the mail carrier.
I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. What could have blown if the windy day?
Maybe Amazon.
Could have been anything. Now let's do some old-timey things. These are items that were in what was then called the Greeley Tribune Republican newspaper back in 1922. Friends of the famous organist, Dr. John Gower. That kind of tells you right there how different the times were. Because the idea of a famous organist is almost a contradiction in terms. Maybe Dave Baby Cortez or somebody, but friends of the famous...
That was before. What was the saxophone thing we saw? Oh, tuba.
Tuba ligation?
No, remember they did the battling tubas? We saw that.
Oh! Please, I'm going to start laughing.
Tubaganza?
Tuba extravaganza.
Mm-hmm.
We had them at the university where Joyce and I used to teach. And it was a showcase for tuba players.
Of multiple tuba players playing at once.
And we thought, hey, let's check this out. So we go in the back of this giant hall that seats like 400 people on the campus of this university. And we go in, and the program starts, and we're far away. The lights go down. There's one light hitting the stage, and it just kind of looks like a tuba in a chair playing itself. The tuba is, it's a giant instrument, and it's so big that it basically blocks the person who's playing it. So all you see is this kind of tuba slightly moving around from very far away, and you hear, like a tuba. So, for no good reason, I was tired, I was grading, I was like, just doing this for poops and giggles, and I start losing it. I start giggling my ass off. Just because the sheer absurdity, of having tuba extravaganza of tubas, and then they had dueling tubas, and I couldn't take it anymore when they brought out like 8 people playing tubas.
And then one was like standing up or dancing, and you lost it, and then Fred and Wendy and I lost it.
Yeah, we all.
And then we had to leave. First of all, we were late.
Yes.
Because we couldn't find the location.
Building. Yeah.
It's like a secret location.
It was down in the Masonic Hall. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when we finally found it, we sat in the back. But I think it was done with a light heart. People know that, tuba players are like not the drummer or the lead singer, right? They know.
Yeah. Like an angel gets his wings every time a tuba player actually gets some pussy. I mean, I'm telling you, it's just like, no, it doesn't happen. It's like sousaphone, like, no.
So go back to what was the story?
How did I get on that? How did I get from a $20 bill? Oh. Friends of the famous organist, Dr. John Gower, said they have been receiving messages from him, even though he is dead. Mm-hmm. In a recent seance, the doctor told them, quote, "I have slept. I am awake. I'm very tired.
Maybe that was the guy they thought was dead in the other call. Wake him up, he's dead!
Later there will be more. Now, let me rest. I wonder if Dr. John Gower was Jewish. They
like
summoned
that.
him from the
He's
dead.
like, that's enough.
You know, he gets to talk to human beings on the planet again. He said, you know what? I'm a little
No, he's like,
tired.
for $9.95 per minute, I'll tell you more.
Yeah, I need my 40-year nap, and then I'll wake up for a decade or two, and then I'll nap again because time in the afterlife. Oh, by the way, I don't know if this is the same guy, but James Wiley Reese, a holy roller and a conductor of seances, came upon a man with a gun who was going to shoot a rattlesnake nearby. Okay? Like, not rattlesnake cage, just a guy, because there were tons of them back then in the Colorado brush. Reese, the religious guy, the seance conductor, told the man not to shoot the rattlesnake.
Wow.
And then he tried to pick up the rattlesnake to save it.
Oh, no.
Well, it bit him. Reese turned to the other man and said, quote, "I'll probably die now. Take care of my children." And then he died.
He should have said, now shoot the rattlesnake.
Yeah, it's like, shoot the snake.
Wow.
Rabbit season, snake season.
Oh my God.
Shoot the snake, shoot the snake. It's like,
Wow.
yeah. There's certain animals, it's like if you see a bunny, even if it's rabid, maybe just ignore it or something. But a rattler.
Yeah. No, they bite. They're
Of course
bad.
they bite. And
They're bad.
back in the day, it's not like serum was nearby.
No, even now, if you're in rural areas and you get bit by a snake, by the time unless you're airlifted to a hospital, many times by the time you get treatment, you're in bad shape.
Yeah, because it's going all through your system. Hey, do you know? Funny you should have mentioned this. Greeley has the third largest, this is 100 years ago, Greeley has the third largest saxophone band in the United States.
Not to be outdone by the tuba, fantastic thing.
Saxophone.
I want to see what it was called. It was called like tuba something.
The American Legion Saxophone Band has 51 members now, and more are joining. The band is making good progress, and people like the unusual sound they make. This is an absolute quoting from the newspaper back in 1922. Yeah, they're making progress. This is, you want to talk about coded language? Like, they're making progress, and
they're talking about tuba lessons in Greeley.
we're liking it. We're liking it. It's unusual. So we're liking it. Yeah. Oh, no, you have to play more. We liked what we heard. We liked it so much that we don't want to, it's like eating too many candies. We don't want to hear more of this. That will just make it too good. And 51 people playing the saxophone at one time for longer than, I don't know, a minute and a half. It's just too much. It's too wonderful. We would love it too much. Our hearts would explode. Stop now. We liked it. It was unusual. Let's go also, though, to elsewhere in the world, because we do this on Greeley Crimes all the time. Sometimes we'll go far afield for a story of weirdness, a true one, in the news, and we have one from Beijing, China. I love this. I love this story. This is a true story. It happened this week, for real, in Beijing. And I don't know, I think I find that it wouldn't be as funny if the guy were in Chinese, and maybe it's racist or something, but something like a Chinese guy having this experience is funnier than pretty much anything else. Maybe not. Chinese state media says a man has been found safe after he spent 2 days aloft in a hydrogen balloon.
Oh.
He was in a forest park, but the balloon became untethered and then traveled 200 miles.
Oh my God.
The man, identified only by his surname, Hu, H-U, and a partner were collecting pine nuts on last Sunday in northeastern China,
I love it.
when they lost control and the balloon sailed off. The other person jumped to the ground.
Why didn't he jump?
I guess the other person's like, come on. Oh, come on. It's like, uh-oh.
He's like, bye.
And a search was launched for the escaped balloon and who?
Oh.
Can you imagine the police radios on this one?
No.
It's like,
Mr. Who?
have you located him? Who? That's right. What's right? The missing guy in the balloon. Well, do you know his name? Who? The guy in the balloon. Who is in the balloon? I'm asking you who is in the balloon.
Oh, no.
And it just went on and on from there.
Doesn't sound like it prospered.
Rescuers were able to contact the man by cell phone the following morning. Always keep your cell phone charged.
Yeah.
They instructed him to slowly deflate the balloon
good.
and land safely.
Yeah,
Smart. Then it took another day before he reached the ground near the Russian border.
Whoa. It's like he didn't get shot down.
I know, right?
I mean, yeah.
Who was in good health apart from a pain in his lower back.
Of course, from standing in a balloon for
Oh, man.
He's lucky he wasn't shot down. If they could have shot down the balloon, it would have killed him.
Well, yeah, no.
I mean, if you see something flying in airspace, yeah, he's
Well,
lucky.
remember that hiker who crossed into North Korea?
Yes.
And then all the North Koreans were so kind to return him to us, and he
Yeah.
died a month later.
Yeah, I mean,
Realize.
like you gotta be careful. That's that's a good ballooning story, like warning.
Yeah. So if you're going up in a balloon, have a charged cell phone.
Yes.
A flare. Well,
And
a flare would be a
and
problem.
when your friend says jump, you need to jump out the balloon.
Well, he could have broken his leg.
Yeah, but the friend was fine.
Okay, but maybe you know how it is. You're jumping onto God knows why. He could have gotten badly hurt.
Mhm.
Here he probably had a little bit of exposure and
And he had some like
Hungry.
lower back pain. Yeah.
maybe they brought up a basket. Like
Aw.
Montgolfier and the picnic baskets.
I
they
think
had.
he's in a basket of a balloon. I think he wants
Maybe.
to see another basket for a long time.
Okay, so let's do one or two more.
Okay.
Greeley Crimes Hell Times, and then we'll move on with more of the program. A caller on 6th Street said, you ever notice that the lower the street numbers get,
There's
the
usually more
weirder?
problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an association.
People kept coming in through her doggy door.
Oh, but that could happen. I've seen that.
Oh,
If
really?
You, if you have
okay.
like a doggy door for a Saint Bernard or something,
It could
if
be
for
big
like
enough.
a kitty cat or a small
Yeah.
little puppy, but for a big doggy,
And she said she's being stalked
maybe.
by people crawling through her doggy door. Okay. Maybe she's doing it doggy style, and this is how.
That's scary.
Well, wait, no, if it
She
were
should
true.
just seal it up, like just put some plywood over the doggy
Well,
door.
it didn't occur to her to do that until people started crawling through her
Oh,
door.
yeah.
Anybody could say, "Oh, we had a home invasion. Let's get an alarm system." It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, true.
A woman on 11th Avenue said a man threw dirt on her while she was
Ew.
outside. Wow.
Ew.
I know how old the woman was. I know it's tempting to give old people a head start on death,
That's horrible.
but still,
Maybe it was just the gardener.
could have been.
You know,
Could have been. Maybe she was just a dirty girl. Oh, you're a dirty girl.
could be. Could
Yeah.
very well be.
And then later on, it rained, and they dragged her name through the mud.
Oh.
It was very sad. Yes, it was. Yes,
Oh.
it was.
Oh, honey, I'm gonna make lunch.
The story's kind of earthy. All right, well, you know what? We got probably less than half an hour
Okay.
to
Okay.
finish, because
Yeah.
I'm going to finish this segment.
Okay.
Got two quicker segments to do. So, let's do one more old thing. The things you'll find in newspapers 100 years ago that weren't news. It was just kind of like, hey, we have space. Let's put something cute in the paper. Some men are like popcorn. As long as they keep cool, they can conceal what is in them. But whenever they get excited, they turn wrong side out. So there's your little popcorn metaphor for the day. Kind of corny, if you ask me. Get it? Little corn joke. Yeah. I guess it's too oily for corn jokes.
Oh.
That's a corn oil joke.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I won't end on that one. What shall I end on? One more old-timey thing. The No Tobacco League of America is pushing to have tobacco outlawed. They said tobacco is bad, quote, because tobacco reduces the usefulness of adults and degenerates the whole human race.
Whoa.
Nothing about, nothing about cancer, nothing about, lip things and jaw cancer, but like it degenerates the whole human race.
That's a heavy job. That's a hard job. I mean, a big job for one substance, but
Yeah. Anyway, smoke 'em if you got 'em. This has
I
been
thought it was Netflix.
Greeley Crimes at All Times with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife Joyce. On this program, Dave's Gone By. Don't go away. We have more, besides Greeley Crimes at All Times, to do on this episode.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool.
Oh, he was not.
I'm sure that you agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi.
Yippee-yi, 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 yi, yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Oh yes, oh yes. Greeley Crimes at All Times. It is 5 minutes to noon Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. You're watching the 864th episode of Dave's Gone By. So I'm thrilled. Thank you. Thrilled and delighted and excited, although I should not be, that we are doing a bit here that we used to do every week or almost every week, but we haven't done in quite a while. Yes, I bought nail clippers. Joyce is intrigued. We used to do it all the time. It is a thrilling, exciting bit we would do on this program that we call the Wretched Pun of Destiny. Wretched Pun is a kind of, is a short, very short story. And the whole point of the story, everything about this show is pointless, but the whole point of the story is that it ends with a horrific, with a terrible play on words. Usually not dirty or anything like that. Not like the Limerick. But it's just you sit there and you go, oh, I wonder how this story is going to end. And then you go like, oh no. Oh no. And yes, it's the Wretched Pun of Destiny. And because we were talking biblically before, people's Hebrew names, and we talked about the Bible and stuff, we have a biblical, a brand new Wretched Pun of Destiny. Are you ready for this? Is anybody ready for this ever? Wretched Pun of Destiny. The Dave's Gone By. Wretched Pun of Destiny. Well, all right. Here
You
we.
want this to? You want to?
Oh yeah. I need a sip to start this.
Sure. You could put it right here. Wait, right there. Right by your
This
feet.
is a crucial moment here. Because I think it's been a few months since we did our last Wretched Pun. This is a new one, number 93. We're calling it Joseph. Jacob and Rachel are living in Canaan with their many children. When famine blights the land, the couple call the family together and challenge the kids to come up with ways to combine meals into one nourishing repast per day instead of 3. Asher is the first to go. Behold, he says, the steak shake. I've mashed up a cow and blended it with milk and butter to make a power drink. Oh, Asher, you putz, says Jacob. Milk and meat together, what kind of Jew are you? Next. Brother Levi goes next and says, Mom, Dad, I figured out a way to combine breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You take your morning cup of coffee and melt cheese in it while grilling a halibut. Then you dunk the fish into the cheese coffee. What do you think? Joseph and Rachel each take a sip and spit the concoction into the sand. Jesus, Joseph, says Jacob, you have to make the stuff edible. One by one, the brothers try and fail to find a recipe that is tasty, filling, and famine-friendly. Finally, it's Joseph's turn. Here's a little something I learned from working for Pharaoh in Egypt. He beans. You take a goat, roast it on a slow fire, then you cut open the belly and fill it with donuts. The other brothers smirk, but Joseph says, hey, try it. Jacob and Rachel take a bite. and love it. Even the reluctant siblings join in, and soon everyone is enjoying Joseph's fusion of sweet bread and meat. Says Jacob, "My boy, you've done it again. When this famine is over, you could even open a restaurant and serve this as your signature dish. Do you have a name for it?" "Of course," says Joseph. "It's my goat of many crullers."
That I like.
Oh, you like
We
that one?
here at Dave's Gone By apologize for bringing you the wretched pun of destiny.
I love the crullers, the coat of many colors, the goat,
The goat of many
crullers.
crullers. You liked that.
I
Wow.
I like the word cruller. It's a non-commonly used, yes.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Cruller. I'm gonna look at it.
Because, when I do this show, I cruller outside the lines. I do.
Ooh, let's
I
just
do.
stop there.
Well, we can't quite stop there, even though it is noon Eastern Time in the Daverhood with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife, Joyce, finishing up the 864th episode of Dave's Gone By. So here's the deal. We have one more item to take care of, one more bit of business on this episode. We didn't even talk about half the things we're going to talk about this morning.
It
But
said the
we can
cruller has been described as resembling a small braided torpedo.
Don't you own one of those in pink plastic, hon?
What's the difference?
Anywho, well, what is the difference in it's like
It
a
says a
donut.
French cruller has a soft, airy texture with a pleasant, light, egg-like flavor. The center of the French cruller is wet with a crunchy exterior. What kind of donut is it? It's in New England.
Oh, okay. It's a New England.
They said that Dunkin' Donuts retired its cruller. I don't know.
Oh no!
Why don't they have French crullers?
Cruller me
They
sad.
said it's not due to interest, but ongoing supply chain issues.
Maybe after a year or more after the pandemic, we'll get our Dunkin' Donuts crullers back.
They're saying that the French cruller is the healthiest type of donuts at Dunkin' Donuts.
How the hell is it different?
I don't know. It's because it's air filled rather than solid filled with stuff.
But the donut has a hole in it. That's all part of a meal that you're eating that you don't even
Krispy
eat.
Kreme stopped making it.
Oh no! Wait a minute! A cruller is dough.
Yeah.
It's twisty
But
dough.
it must have some kind of ingredient.
Egg. I don't know.
Crullerness.
Crullificity.
Yeah, I don't know.
Crullificness.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, you know what? Before you can walk, you have to crawl.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
God
before
help us.
we crawl our way to the end of the show, I do want to thank one more time a whole bunch of people, whole bunch of people who helped make this show so much fun today. First of all, and first but not least, my darling, amazing, wonderful wife, Joyce.
Thank you.
Thank you to her. Thank you to Rabbi Saul Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. You can find out so much more about him by going to his website, shalomdammit.com. This is a place where you can read his rabbinical reflections. They're mini sermons. Now, he not only writes, but you can hear him say them, sometimes scream them. It's the rabbinical reflections of Rabbi Saul, plus his one-man show that maybe one day we'll bring back to a theater. It's called Shalom Dammit, An Evening with Rabbi Saul Solomon. You can watch a long version of that, the original version, off Broadway, just by going to shalomdammit.com. All the links are there. All the video stuff is going to YouTube, really, but all the links are there, shalomdammit.com, DAMMIT. Thank you to Rabbi Saul. Thank you also to our guests playing the Today Yesterday trivia game. We had Moshe Denburg. Moshe Denburg.
I would say Moshe.
Moshe Denburg. Remember that his band is called Simis, and you can go to his website.
Aren't you going to play with this band now?
He invited
You
me.
said you could play the snail tambourine.
I could. I got to practice.
Yeah.
Because, if I don't think about it.
You're too sluggish.
Oh, yeah, a little snail joke there. But, if I start thinking about it, I'm going like, yeah. Not too bad.
I'll give you your outro.
I always wanted to do it like Betty and Veronica when the Archies were playing, and you'd see them in the cartoon, and they smack the thing on their hip, and then you go this, and they smack on their hip, and they'd be shaking it, kind of sexy like Betty and Veronica.
I think you'd probably cut yourself or hurt yourself.
Yeah,
somehow.
on the metal rings.
Yeah.
They would
You might get an ouchie on your
slice my hip.
Yeah.
But Moshe Denburg, Tzimis.net, TZIMMES.net, for, as he was saying, that there's a whole, they remixed their very first album and have re-released it in really great sounding sound. Check it out on Bandcamp. Sorry, check out their Bandcamp page to find that. Also, I'll let you know that Vicki Quade is in Chicago, of course, and that's where she does or directs also other people in her long-running classic show that she did with Mary Pat Donovan. It's called Late Night Catechism, and she still does it week after week after week. Plus, there's Bible Bingo. Catch Bible Bingo this month up until next month when it turns into Holy Ghost Bingo. Vicki Quade at the Greenhouse in Chicago, Illinois. And how can I forget, oh my gosh, our two wonderful veteran guests in the Daverhood, Hal Linden, Bernie Kopell. Go see them both live in the flesh.
Yeah.
They are at the theater at St. Clemens on West 46th Street. I should have that.
Oh, it's easy to Google.
It's easy, yeah. It's between 8th and 9th Avenue. And it's playing 4 times a week, just weekends, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Through October 23rd, tickets through telecharge. The show is called Two Jews Talking. And what a joy to have them talking in the Daverhood with Rabbi Saul. Thank you very, 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 very much, because there were 2 of them, double much to Dan DeMello, the press agent, for setting up that interview. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that. So, those are just the friends of the Daverhood today who are on today's program. We've had people who've been on this program for the last 19 years and 11 months.
Wow.
We like to give them a little bit of a tribute and let you know what they've been up to and where they are at. They are the Friends of the Daverhood. Yeah! Yeah! Get down! Get funky! Oh, he's loving this. Uncle Floyd used to do this when he had no other bits. He would just hold up a puppet. Right, potato, well done. Oh, good job. So let me tell you about the
Where's
friends.
my royalty check? He wants his royalty check.
Oh, you don't get an under 5. You had no dialogue.
No,
Except now, just now.
Yeah, he's SAG.
Yeah.
I'm SAG.
Well, he doesn't sag, really. He's in good shape. So, Friends of the Daverhood, people who've been on this program in the past. For example, I want to remind you that you can watch the show Chopin and Liszt in Paris by and featuring our friend Hershey Felder. You can get your tickets via theatermania.com. And he does all these things. You know, he's a accomplished classical pianist and musician, and he does these biographical shows with a lot of classical music in them. This is on TV. This is a thing that you can stream. Chopin and Liszt in Paris with Hershey Felder. Congratulations to Bill German, the new paperback version of the book he wrote many years ago called Under Their Thumb, all about his interviews with and hanging with the Rolling Stones. They've updated it. It's got more text that he's written and plus like 30 unseen photographs since the very first edition. Under Their Thumb by Bill German, that is just been released, so yay. Want to let you know that today, our friend, speaking of Jewish musicians, David Broza is at the South Orange Performing Arts Center in New Jersey, yay. Or today, you can see, directed by our friend Jeff Harner, Therese Lee at Don't Tell Mama doing a cabaret show. Jeff Harner is also directing another woman, Linda Kahn. She's doing her cabaret show at the Laurie Beachman Theater. That is Sunday, tomorrow. Also tomorrow, Jen Maxfield, the NBC News broadcaster, talks and signs her book that is happening at the Jewish Book and Arts Festival at New Jersey's Tenafly Public Library tomorrow afternoon. Jen Maxfield. And she's got a big old website. You can see all her, where she's going to be and doing signings and stuff. Plus, you can still watch her doing reports on NBC News. Now, just through tomorrow. Been a long run, but Dear Evan Hansen is closing on Broadway. Christian Knoll has been in it for a while, and I believe, well, she's closing with it. So see her tomorrow in Dear Evan Hansen, the matinee. And I think it's been running at least 5 years, probably 8, on Broadway. Want to let you know that on Monday night, Scott Siegel is doing his Broadway by the Year cabaret series at New York's Town Hall. It's called A History of Song and Dance. So for many, many years, Siegel would just do, these were the songs of this year or these 2 years. Now he's kind of opening up the field a little bit, and the topic is song and dance. So if you've never seen a Broadway by the Year, you owe it to yourself to check it out. They're really well done. Letting you know that we mentioned David Broza before. He's playing tomorrow in New Jersey, or tonight in New Jersey. But his cover of the old Leonard Cohen song "So Long, Marianne" is being released on Wednesday the 21st. It's from an EP called David Broza Sings Leonard Cohen. So if you all know and love the song "So Long, Marianne," there you go. Letting you know that also on Wednesday up through early October. Wilson Germain Heredia is in the play How to Dance in Ohio. Always tough for me to talk after the first 3 hours. Wilson Germain Heredia, How to Dance in Ohio at Syracuse Stage in New York. Letting you know also that in Florida, happening this coming weekend, like Friday into next Saturday, Stephen Brenberg is bringing his show Simply Barbara to Oscars in Palm Springs. And then Jeff Harner, again, next weekend on Friday the 22nd, he is directing and he guests on stage with Dawn Deroe. Dawn Deroe sings Edie Gourmet, that is at the Laurie Beachfront Theater next Friday, and also again next Sunday. And, that is, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So the 22nd is actually Thursday. The 23rd, I believe, is Friday. So, starting Friday and running through early October, in Flint, Michigan, Louis J. Stadlin is playing Willie Loman in Death of a Salesman. So go see this celebrating actor, this Broadway actor, Louis J. Stadlin, in Death of a Salesman. Roger Hendrick Simon is doing the show Love, Sex, and Real Estate. That is at the Chain Theater now through the middle of October. Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano every Monday night, 5:30 p.m. at Birdland. Get your tickets at birdlandjazz.com. And of course, one more reminder, Two Jews Talking with Hal Linden and Bernie Kopell at the theater at St. Clement's now through October 23rd. And those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. It's funny how punchy I get, even though I was able to take a break because part of the show was pre-recorded. I still, after like that noon mark, I'm like,
so long. I'm starving. I'm not hungry.
Hoga. Well, I'm getting a little hungry, but we're both going to lose our appetite now because it's time for the last bit of this 864th episode of Dave's Gone By, the last piece of this jumbled puzzle of humor that we do every week here on Facebook on the Dave's Gone By page, and that we put up on davesgoneby.com, archive.org. Yes, we have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. These are poems, of course, 5-line poems. I've been writing them for the past few years. We started writing them when Joyce and I were living in Colorado. We're not anymore. And yet, I'm still churning these out, disgusting, vile, terrible poems about a different place in Colorado every week. And today, we go to a place I'm pretty sure you never heard of, El Jebel, Colorado. Our Colorado Limerick of the Damned.
You're the poetry man.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick.
Rocky Mountain, Colorado.
Oh, yes, indeed. Colorado, we go to a place that's very different from, you have English town names in Colorado and a lot of Spanish and Mexican. But this is El Jebel, Jebel. It is a community in northwestern Colorado, and El Jebel means the mountain in Arabic.
Wow.
And it's named for a large ranch that was owned by Aspen mining tycoon Henry B. Gillespie, and he took his inspiration from the El Jebel Masonic Temple in Denver, which he helped found back in 1888. So El Jebel, the town, is near Highway 82, and it's actually been growing. It's been booming with housing and businesses since the 1990s. And one of the things that you can do there in El Jebel's, we have here in Maryland, Bolero. So when we go bowling and get some eats, we have Bolero. But if you're in El Jebel, Colorado, you can go to Bolski's.
Wow.
Wouldn't you just love to go to Bolski's?
I would.
To roll a few down get a beer and some French fries and stuff.
That's where I'm going right now.
So, well, we are going to El Jebel for our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. A plus-sized young lass from El Jebel, who fancies herself quite the rebel, can stuff a grapefruit into her patoot and crush it the size of a pebble.
Oh, no.
Ah, yes. Please send your comments, complaints. You were smirking.
Oh,
You tried to hide it. You liked the Wretched pun.
I do
But
not.
you were smirking at the El Jebel Wretched pun, at the El Jebel Limerick of the Damned. Anyway, but if you liked it or didn't like it, we want to hear from you either way. Davesgoneby at AOL.com. DAVESGONEBY. Davesgoneby at AOL.com. You can also post your messages to me. If we're friends on Facebook, just put it right under the show, instant message me there, whatever. I would love to hear from you. I don't necessarily get to give a thumbs up or answer everybody who writes in, who emails, who messages, but I certainly try and read everything, and I absolutely appreciate every single person who takes the time, whether you respond or not. But when you join me on Saturday mornings between 9 and noon, or you watch me later on Facebook, or on davesgoneby.com, archive.org, if you download from CastBox. Any way that you're enjoying and finding the show or parts of the show helps the show continue and gives me what we call nachas. Speaking of nachas, I get a ton from my darling, wonderful, and adorable wife, Joyce, who made me this earlier in the program.
I made you that.
Love you, sweetie. So here's the deal. I'm not sure if I'm doing a program next week. I'm tempted because we had so much stuff I wanted to talk about today that we didn't have a chance to. But at the same time, I don't think I'll have a guest, and I don't have a lot of time this week just to put towards stuff that isn't my day job.
Okay.
However, in a week or two, in 2 weeks, I think it is, we are going to have a return visitor to the Daverhood. We're going to have my old boss and co-worker and kind of a friend, Robert Viagas, will be joining us again.
Oh,
He's written a book.
About his book. Good.
He has a new book about ghost stories in the theater. Now, Robert was running Playbill.com. He was there before I got there and helped hire me. And then he was my boss for a bit. Then he left. I took over. He came back to Playbill. He's also written books about a chorus line. He's retired now, but he's writing books and fun books about the theater, like famous ghost stories. If you say the M word in the theater, you have to turn around 3 times, spit, and run around the theater.
That's fun.
Absolutely. And are there ghosts wandering the haunts backstage of theaters on Broadway and around the country? Really sounds like fun. So we're going to have Robert back in the Daverhood to do that and play the Today, Yesterday quiz, hopefully, with Leslie Blake and with David Sheward. They will be back on our next program. So check this Facebook page. Check the Dave's Gone By website to see if we're here next week. We will see. If we're not here this week, we will definitely be here the week after for the 865th episode of Dave's Gone By. Isn't it? The 865th episode of Dave's Gone By. Until then, don't miss your Dave's going by. This is Dave Lefkowitz. Have a wonderful one. And, wait, let me see if I can... Where's my iTunes? I gotta play my music. Oh, and Potato. Maybe Potato needs to dance. And gone by.
Days gone by. Days gone by.